We're Superman's cousin. It's harmless phosphorescence. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Harmless Phosphorescence, the show where we go through every superhero movie ever made in chronological order. Full-length feature live-action movies. This week we are heading all the way back to July 19th, 1984 for Supergirl. I am one of your hosts, Thoreau Smiley, and the way to my heart is through the elimination of my enemies. I am joined this week by...
I'm Josh CC, and I failed six-dimensional geometry.
I'm Brian Lesh, and like Zoltar, I am with you.
I'm Alaric Weber, and we're just inventing miracles.
That's all.
Squad.
Dream machine.
An infantalized 20-year-old woman.
Again. I mean that again.
So we are looking at Supergirl from 1984, July 19th. Let's take a listen to what that's all about.
Who is she? You know, I think I recognize the costume.
The question remains, just who on earth are you?
On Earth, I'm Lee. Linda Lee.
Why don't you just leave this poor kid alone and worry about the other one that flies? Because nobody gets in my way.
Wait a minute, wait 1 minute. I mean, you can do the whole number, leap tall buildings at a single bound, and look right through things.
Yes.
Bend steel bars?
Yes.
Enjoy your prison, Supergirl. Forever and ever. Power of Shadow! Destroy her!
Alexander Salkind presents the action-packed adventures of a dazzling new superhero, starring Peter O'Toole,
I must be sent to the Phantom Zone.
Faye Dunaway, Mia Pharaoh,
Venus. When?
Brenda Vaccaro, Mark McClure,
That's Clark Kent's cousin.
Art Bachner, and introducing Helen Slater as Supergirl. Adventure runs in the family.
So, Al, what can you tell us about the comic book origin of Kara Zor-El's Supergirl?
Okay. Before Kara Zor-El came around, there were DC fooled around with. They played around with a couple of different super female characters. Trying to remember them all. In one, Lois Lane gets superpowers.
Oh, brother.
For a short while, probably for one issue. In another, Superboy rescues an alien, saves an alien somewhere in Kansas, and the alien repays him by turning him female.
Yeah. Okay.
For a short time.
Yeah, because that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Here on Earth.
Like, you ever wanted boobs, son?
And no rights.
Right.
The third one, Jimmy Olsen wishes for a Supergirl to help Superman.
Wait, somebody tells Jimmy to look for that?
What?
No, Jimmy Olsen makes a wish, right?
He makes
a wish. Gotcha.
He makes a wish, yeah.
Okay.
And so he wishes her into existence.
I'm sure he said G. Willikers at the...
He didn't wish for powers himself.
No. He didn't want to help Superman. He wanted some Supergirl to help Superman.
And Superboy's just like, again?
That's the weirdest thing to wish for.
He's like, yeah, I could take care of that problem on my own and then wish for something good.
So in this issue, this Supergirl was fatally injured, and Jimmy ends up wishing the dying Supergirl out of existence.
Not back to life.
That's
oh, my Lord.
intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a sentient being he created and then destroyed.
So
the
Kara Zor-El Supergirl, her first appearance was in Action Comics number 252, May 1959. and this was 21 years after Superman started.
Mm.
This was the Silver Age of DC Comics. Kara Zor-El was created by Otto Binder and Al Plastino.
That's like a plastics manufacturer?
Yeah, you know. Otto Binder.
Of Binder and Plastino.
Also a law firm in the Valley.
Right, exactly. Have you been hit by a Kryptonian?
Otto Binder. He did a lot of work on Captain Marvel Adventures for DC, not the Marvel version. Al Plastino did a lot of work on Supergirl, created Brainiac, and I think he created the Legion of Superheroes. I could be wrong.
All right.
I wrote down names and not verbs.
Thank you,
That's a
Plastino.
fantastic name.
Basically, Supergirl was the female counterpart to Superman, same powers and weaknesses. She went by Linda Lee. She was sent from Argo City to be raised by Superman. Argo City was a city, a portion of Krypton that had been saved from the giant explosion. I'm not sure how. And
By Zoltar. Duh.
No, but as long ago as
I
that,
assume. I don't know.
yes,
they had Argo City? Okay.
Yes.
Really?
yes.
Because I was curious about that.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the movie.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
talking about the comics.
Yeah.
Okay. But then Argo City was being threatened by a meteor shower, so that's why they sent Kara to Earth to be raised by Superman.
Just to be raised.
Yeah. So she's supposed to be raised by Superman, but she ends up going to live at Midvale Orphanage.
Damn.
Because I guess Superman just didn't have time for
That's
her.
busy.
Like, I'm drinking.
I work a full-time job. I
Right.
got a girlfriend now.
Go live with your cousin in Kansas.
I've had sex twice.
So I'm not bad.
So Superman told her to keep her powers secret, and she promised not to do stuff. But of course she does. She's testing out her powers.
She's a teenager.
She's having fun
Dames.
with
Again.
it.
And what's becoming an ongoing theme to the show.
It really has.
Eventually, we'll get to some.
I don't think
Some
DC knows how it feels.
non-dames show.
This movie has its moments.
It does.
Linda Lee was adopted by Fred and Edna Danvers in 1961. So she became Linda Lee Danvers.
Any relation to the Danvers
No.
character, Marvel?
No, Carol.
No.
No.
She's also my cousin.
Which is probably renamed like 40 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1969, Supergirl became the lead feature in Adventure Comics. The first Supergirl title book was in 1972. Kara Linda Lee Danvers. She spent some time as an actress on a TV soap opera called Secret Hearts.
And a DC Universe soap opera.
No,
Yeah.
I want to point out that the greatest power all of these Kryptonians have is coming up with fake identities and then doing the menial things that those identities
I know, like,
require.
day in, day out.
It's like, the planet's being invaded. Yeah. I'll get to it. I've got this report or this article.
I got scenes to shoot.
Right. Eric Clark's like, I've got to go. I've got to shop for ties and suits.
Right. It's like, wow, that's method. You guys are really into your identities.
Got to get my typewriter maintained.
All right. So she was on a soap opera. Sorry.
Yeah. It wasn't very long after this movie was made. Supergirl was in the comic book universe. Supergirl was killed off in DC's Crisis on Infinite Earths. That was 1985.
Wow.
Okay.
One of the reasons cited
Earlier than I thought.
I didn't realize Crisis on Infinite Earths happened that long ago. I kept thinking it was like the 90s.
Yeah.
One of the reasons cited was they just thought there were too many Kryptonians out there. They didn't feel like Superman was special anymore. So
Well, I'd agree, but it's funny they chose her.
Well, it wasn't just her. They got rid of the Kandor, the tiny city.
Mm-hmm.
That eventually came back, and Supergirl came back. But after the Crisis, Superman was essentially the only surviving Kryptonian.
Gotcha.
For a while.
I see.
As all things should be. He, originally
Yeah.
was.
I mean, that's,
Yeah, it makes the most sense.
In another reason that was cited, or potential reason for killing off Supergirl, was that this movie didn't do so hot in the box office.
Yeah,
wow.
and we'll get to that shortly.
Not prior. After that, there were at least 5 other versions of Supergirl in the comics. I didn't list them all, but the most important one being Power Girl. Alternate universe cousin to Superman. She was also Kara Zor-El, but the L was not spelled E-L. It was just the letter L. I don't know. But her greatest power was, as we all know, an ample bosom.
I was gonna say cleavage for sure. That character is
allowing cosplay.
Dear
to-
Lord, jeez.
So for the most part, we have a lot of versions of Kara Zor-El being born after Superman on Argo City, the surviving city. Alternately, there are other timelines where Kara was born before Superman. This was after 2004. So she was born on Krypton before Superman and sent to watch after baby Kal-El. And she's in suspended animation on her ship. So when she arrives on Earth, she's younger than Kal-El.
So they just switched it from that earlier incarnation where she was sent to be raised by Superman.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's
And then
that's
she
the
was-
opposite.
And then, she was sent to be a protector.
Right.
But then she doesn't have to be, because she shows up later and younger.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah. Thank you, Al.
Oh, by the way, the Supergirl series on the CW,
Yeah.
right now, that's the premise that they use.
That
That she was sent to Earth to protect her cousin.
Okay.
So that's what they're going with now.
Okay. Yeah. So, and that brings us to the movie itself. As I said, released the 19th of July, 1984, with a running time of 124 minutes, a budget of $35 million. It made in the box office 14.3.
Oh man,
rough.
That means they lost money.
A
Right?
lot.
A lot of money.
I don't know how math works. So
Yeah, 6-dimensional geometry.
Yep.
Right. It has a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes currently.
Wow.
deservedly, it's a great film. 10%'s good, right? I don't know how to do math.
It goes opposite.
Okay.
I don't think it warrants that. I mean, that's a terrible box office.
It's terrible.
That means people left
How much of-
feeling mad and then told people.
How much of that
that's how that
35
works.
million went to the actors and actresses in this film?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, so let's talk about the actors and actresses. So before I even get into the production, which isn't super interesting, but there's a few tidbits. Let's talk about the actors. So this cast and crew actually have a combined 9 Golden Globes, 3 Oscar wins, and a combined 30 Oscar nominations between them.
Wow.
Wow. Recipe for box office failure right there.
I guess.
Exactly.
Losing $20 million. Holy crap.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
Whoops.
But it has the most star power of any of the super movies
Easily.
we've seen.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Unnecessary
Richard
star
Pryor.
power. At
Yes,
this
Yeah.
point.
indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
This movie would have benefited having Richard Pryor in it. for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
So all right. So the production. They got the rights to this at the same time that they got the rights to Superman. The Salkins did. Our recurring cast of characters here, the Salkins.
So that means they were probably given the canon of Superman.
Yeah, probably the whole shebang.
Wow.
Um,
Interesting choices
just
they
the-
made.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, interesting for good and ill. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So they opted to make a Supergirl movie after 3 in order to freshen the franchise, is their official take on it. They attempted and failed to get the services of Richard Lester, who after 3 said no thanks.
Yeah.
Robert Wise also turned down the director's chair. This was then filmed by French filmmaker, I'm going to say this completely wrong, Jenat Zawark,
Okay.
I'm not going to try and fix that for you.
Zorak.
Let's just call him Zoltan.
Jean-Luc. Was that a French and a Polish name? I'm terrible. Sorry.
Kryptonian.
Zvak.
Whose best known work at that time was mainly in television and Jaws 2.
Oh,
wow.
I just looked at it. It was Zhino Zvark.
Thank you, Al.
Totally.
Yeah, sweet. Jaws 2, though. Interesting.
Yeah, Jaws 2.
And Somewhere in Time. We got to watch
but
that.
not terrible.
Oh, well, yeah, Somewhere in Time. That was still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somewhere in Time. He was chosen after meeting with Christopher Reeve. So Christopher Reeve basically picked the director of Supergirl.
That's
which is
more
weird.
power than he was ever afforded.
Yeah.
He wasn't even in the movie.
No.
They should have let Brando choose.
Oh my God.
He would then later on go on to direct Santa Claus the movie.
Huh.
I love that movie.
I do too.
Way.
I love it too.
I love that movie.
I don't remember that movie.
Christmas
Not a
nerd.
big Christmas guy, but for some reason, love that movie.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
So you know what to get me for Christmas, you guys.
A VHS.
The spirit.
Santa Claus
Yeah.
merch.
Yeah.
The spirit of
Hundreds of actresses tested for the role of Supergirl, among them Demi Moore and Brooke Shields. Shields was Alexander Salkin's top choice, but she and Moore were both ultimately rejected by both Ilya and
Zvark.
Shavark.
Had Demi Moore done much before that?
When
Mystic Pizza, was she in that?
That would have been afterwards.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I
that
don't
she was
know.
a contender.
Yeah. They both wanted an unknown actress, and they instead signed Helen Slater.
Legend of Billie Jean.
That's right.
Well,
yes.
And
right is right.
Somebody said at one point, I remember I was reading some stuff about this. I forget who it was. It might have been the director saying that he wished that Brooke Shields had taken the role. It might have been Salkind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got some opinions on Helen Slater, and we'll get to that
Oh,
as we
yeah.
go through. But
And actually, the
piercing eyes. I'll give her that,
yeah, no, definitely those eyes.
After reading the Brooke Shields thing, I was like, she's no Brooke Shields, though, man.
Yeah,
I love
well,
Brooke
Emily,
Shields.
I generally enjoy Helen Slater's work.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot.
But this is not her best role.
Yeah.
Well, Legend of Billie Jean.
Yeah, I
of
love
course.
that.
Yeah.
That wasn't long after this. And
Ruthless People, 1986.
All right.
Secret of My Success.
I love that movie.
Yeah, City Slickers.
She was in City Slickers. That's all I remember her from.
Let's see.
Yeah.
That
far out.
after that, a bunch of stuff most people probably have not heard of. She did in 2016 voice of Martha Kent in DC Superhero Girls Hero of the Year.
And DC seems to do that. They seem to go and kind of bring people back out of the vault and say, like, hey, you want to do an animated voice?
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
well, the whole Superman thing that's going on right
Yes.
now. Yeah, I'm sure you are familiar with that, Al.
So prior to this movie, I think this was her first film appearance. She was in an ABC after school special.
Yes.
Prior to this, I think that was her only work. So this was her second appearance anywhere.
I wish those were
first on the
streaming.
big screen.
I wish you could go back and watch old after school specials.
Oh God,
oh man,
they might be on YouTube. I don't know.
On YouTube, yeah,
Maybe.
probably.
In 1992, she was on an episode of Seinfeld. Her name was Becky Gelke.
I remember that
Oh,
episode. Yeah.
She lived across the street from Jerry, and she suffered an epileptic seizure caused by Mary Hart.
Huh.
Yes.
That was
Mary
the
Hart.
episode. She voiced.
Which was based on a true story.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
That was real.
Brian looks
I
so
don't remember.
confused.
I'm like, it's probably too far back in
Yeah.
my Seinfeld.
There would be no
Bank.
reason to know who Mary Hart was if you didn't have to.
Oh God.
Like we did.
We were for every day. No, there was nothing but between cartoons and primetime. There was nothing but Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, and Entertainment Tonight.
Yeah. Sometimes a current affair. But that was a while ago.
Yeah. Anyways, go on now.
So she was in 4 episodes of Batman the Animated Series, voicing Talia al Ghul, daughter of Ra's al Ghul. 3 episodes of Smallville as Laura L., Kal-El's mom. And you mentioned the DC Superhero Girls.
Yeah.
She was Martha Kent. Most recent work, she's done several episodes as Eliza Danvers on the CW's Supergirl series. So she
Okay.
is now appearing as Supergirl's adoptive mother.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wow, good for her.
Wow.
She came full circle.
And her adopted father was Dean Cain.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's too
Nice.
bad. Did she
Sweet.
go on Maury for that one?
Right.
Prove it.
So years later, Ilya Salkind stated he thought Slater was miscast and that Shields was the better choice in the film. Would have done better at the box office with Shields.
That's cold.
Slater was paid $75,000.
Maybe if they paid the woman more than like $75,000 to make a box office film, like,
it's
it's a
a
big deal movie.
$35 million like movie. Like
Well,
that's
and then to throw the unknown actor that you found and cast totally under the bus
Right.
after the fact,
Right.
it's like, all right, yeah, she probably had something to do with it, but God, it's not-
They paid
you
Mia
found her
Farrow
out of
all
nowhere.
the money that
Yeah.
they probably were going to pay Brooke
Brooke
Shields.
Shields,
You
yeah.
know? Yeah.
right. She's
Probably.
she's generally likable in the role, but she just seems like she's completely out of her depth a lot of the
She's
time.
kind of stiff, kind of wooden.
Yeah.
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 She looks great when she's flying, and she looks
Oh, yeah.
happy and like she's having fun.
She comes across pretty well as a sheltered innocent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
And if she comes across extraordinarily infantilized, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes,
Especially in the first few scenes in Argo City. Is she playing a toddler?
Right, I
Yeah.
wonder,
Seriously.
because she's okay. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Okay, so
Ease it on.
Dolly Parton turned down the role of Selena before it was offered to Faye Dunaway.
Mm.
She didn't want to play a witch,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is,
Black
a
magic.
classic Dolly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. I was like, ooh, they should have changed the role for
She's
her.
a good Christian girl.
I
Yeah,
mean,
she is. Faye Dunaway, who made her screen debut in the 1967 film The Happening. She rose to fame the same year with a portrayal of Bonnie Parker in Bonnie and Clyde.
Fantastic film.
Yes, amazing. That was her first Academy Award nomination. After that, she appeared in The Thomas Crown Affair, which is great, along with the remake of that was also very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Arrangement, Little Big Man, which
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's a great
love
movie.
that movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Mommy Dearest. That's a fun one.
Yes, Mommy Dearest. And The Three Musketeers in 1973.
What? Directed by Lester, right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
And produced by the Salkinds.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Wow.
This goes all the way to the top.
It's all
guys.
connected.
Rings within rings.
We're through the looking glass here, people.
Jesus. Did 9/11 even happen in this universe?
And
We've asked that before.
And a movie which is a very good movie, despite anything that may have to do with its the people that made it, Chinatown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the two Jakes.
And
yeah.
and the two Jakes.
Yeah, I mean, no,
Sorry.
Chinatown's a great movie. Just
Chinatown is a great movie.
yeah, I'm sorry.
You know, Polanski's Polanski.
Well,
It
right.
is what it is.
Yeah, it's not about him.
No, it's not. Anyways, yeah, no, and at that point he was just a Holocaust survivor. We didn't yet know.
Yeah, and every time I put on my DVD, I'm supporting him. No, that's not right.
Anyway, so she was in the Towering Inferno, 3 Days of the Condor, Network,
Oh, yeah.
which she won the Oscar for,
Mm,
and The Eyes of Laura Mars.
cool.
Yeah, so
She kills it in this.
yeah, she
I think she's great.
no scenery is left unchewed.
Right.
We also have Peter O'Toole as Zoltar.
Wow.
Mr. Peter O'Toole. Sir? Was he Sir Peter
Sir.
O'Toole?
Oh, I'm
He
sure he
Sir.
was a sir.
Yeah. Lawrence of Arabia. That's really all you have to say. British Beatlemania. It's John Glenn. You know where I'm going with this.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? My favorite year? That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Is that what it's called?
The Lion in the Winter.
Man of La Mancha.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
that was
Classic.
King Priam in Troy.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Goodbye,
One of his
Mr.
last
Chips.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The Last Emperor.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
The Ruling Class.
Oh,
You remember that one where he plays an upper class, the son of an upper class family who's kind of insane and thinks he's Jesus?
No. I
There's
don't think
Peter
I saw
O'Toole. Peter O'Toole, literally like on the cross, like climbing up, getting on the cross in the middle of like this like upper class British like cricket party, and he's just sitting there, and,
Wow.
like his parents are like, "Son, will you come down?"
yeah. So British in play.
Yeah.
that. Wow.
Wow. Check that out.
You know, a great
Yeah.
movie.
Uh, I can't.
I was going to say perpetually drunk.
Yes.
Always. Peter
known,
O'Toole.
known especially as
Yeah.
being perpetually drunk.
Although actually in the 70s he gave up alcohol due to stomach cancer, which he survived by giving up alcohol.
And then
Probably
But then
started
he
drinking.
started drinking
cancer.
again, right?
Yeah.
This is 1984.
Yes.
He's drunk.
He's clearly drunk.
He's drunk in Argo City and he's drunk in the Phantom.
He's not a method actor, but his method is getting drunk. There's a great story. We were texting about this, about him getting drunk to ride the camels for Lawrence of Arabia, which I'm just like, it's changed my perspective on that movie forever.
Right.
Because T.E. Lawrence was definitely not drunk.
No, he was not. Then for some reason, Mia Farrow as Allura Inze.
Oh, God.
So what? Okay. Why I cannot figure out. I can't find any answers as to why Mia Farrow was hired to say 4 lines.
Yeah.
Somebody had to ask for her to be in the movie. There had to have been some sort of like, dude, we should get Mia Farrow. She'd be great.
I mean, was she was the role cut out in editing? Because I don't know. You pay for Mia Farrow, you want to use as much of her as you can.
Oh my God! Is that what you just said?
They got
Woody Allen feels the same way.
Jesus.
Not about Mia Farrow.
Oh man.
Well then,
she got one good solid line in, and that's her screaming, "Cara!"
Yeah.
And it was like, that's worth a couple $100,000, I'm sure.
I can't tell if she's really invested or if she believes she's trapped in that place. I will buy either answer.
Yeah. Mia Farrow, the eldest daughter of Australian director John Farrow and Irish actress Maureen O'Sullivan. Let's see. She is best known for the television soap Peyton Place.
Yeah.
Marrying Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. That's wild.
Rosemary's Baby. And then her relationship with Woody Allen.
Mm-hmm. So, and several of his movies.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Hannah and Her Sisters, for which I think she was nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, I believe so.
Didn't win. Let's see. Broadway Danny Rose, Purple Rose of Cairo.
She's great
Alice.
in the Broadway Danny Rose. I'll give her that. Yeah.
Midsummer Night's Sex Comedy. And it's Mia Farrow. She's a big name. She has 4 lines.
She is a big name. I don't know. I never really dug her.
I just want to say her son won a Pulitzer last year, and he's like younger than I am, and it hurts my brain every time I see him on TV. Like,
oh, Lord.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ronan Farrow's amazing.
It's amazing what you can accomplish in this country when you don't have other things to worry
about. Right, seriously.
When you're rich and know people who are in the same industry you're breaking into.
Yeah, and you lived well all your life.
He's the one who broke the Feinstein stuff, which is pretty wild.
No, he's done some great work. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
Wait, Feinstein or Weinstein?
Weinstein, sorry. Oh,
I was
God.
like, what did Harvey Feinstein do?
That's great.
My bad. It's been a while since that came out, but
Hart Brockner starred as Ethan, maybe a lesser name.
He starred as who? Her dad?
Ethan, the dude that they all love.
The guy,
the heartthrob.
The Luke Wilson.
Somehow.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
The guy from Die Hard.
I see.
Right. He was in Breaking Away, Terror Train, Rich and Famous, Apartment Zero, Die Hard, and Mr. Destiny. In the 1990s, he had a voice role in Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh,
who was he in that?
It's a cool movie.
I did not put it in my notes.
Some cop or something.
Did you get
I looked at it yesterday. I didn't recognize the name of who he was.
Let's see. He also appeared in Urban Legends: Final Cut, and was starred opposite Susan Sarandon in Anywhere But Here in 1999, and the 2013 remake of Carrie. So he works.
Yeah. Right.
He works. Good for him. He also directed PCU and High School High.
What?
Yeah,
he directed
High School
PCU?
High.
Yes.
Wow. That is one of my favorite comedies. Like, Jon Favreau's in it. Lots of people are in it, actually.
Yeah.
Wow. That's almost, that's such a great comedy.
Yeah.
Far out.
We've got Brenda Vaccaro as Bianca. She was in Midnight Cowboy with Dustin Hoffman and Jon Voight, for which she was nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress. She was also in Jacqueline Suzanne's Once Is Not Enough, for which she was nominated for an Academy Award. She was also in Airport 77, Capricorn 1, The The Mirror Has Two Faces, Heart of Midnight, Zorro the Gay Blade.
Yeah. I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah. And I used to have a VHS that was Zorro the Gay Blade and Love at First Bite.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a nice double feature.
Was that a home?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was actually beta.
Oh,
My
okay.
dad had a
Nice.
Beta Max.
Awesome.
But yeah, and yeah. So and then Sandra Dickinson was in this.
Bianca?
No. Sandra Dickinson had no speaking lines, but she was in this credited as Pretty Young Lady. She played Trillian in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy BBC series.
Well, where is she in this movie? Which
She's in
Pretty Ladies in this movie?
she's just in a crowd.
Oh, I see.
Huh.
Yeah.
She's at the witch party.
Oh, that's right. The witch party.
She's the one that gets spun around.
Yes.
Oh, her?
Yeah.
Yet another baby doll voice they had a woman use.
It was the 80s.
And she was blonde.
Yeah. Matt Frewer as
Matt
Eddie.
Frewer. Max
Eddie the rapist.
Yeah.
What was her name? Pretty Young Lady.
Sandra Dickinson.
She was also in Superman 3. She, as wife, was her credit in Superman 3.
Interesting.
Reprising her role.
I wonder if she just knew the Salkins.
Yeah, maybe. And she stole Lorelei's voice, her fake voice.
Yeah. Let's see. This was written by David Odell, who also wrote Dark Crystal and the Masters of the Universe movie.
I could see some of that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Thematically,
makes
it's
sense.
kind of similar in those same veins.
It was
fantasy.
Oh yeah. It was scored by Jerry Goldsmith, a score that the first time I watched this recently, I was kind of dismissive of after, Superman and, John Williams' score. But I watched it a second time and I really like it. It's a good score.
It got stuck. Yeah, it's great.
It's a good score.
I can't remember if we mentioned why, but yeah, he almost scored Superman.
He did, yeah.
And John Williams got the gig. Yeah. He's our Star Trek composer.
Yeah, Star Trek.
Gotta love him.
Freaking Alien and Patton.
Yeah, Logan's Run.
Patton. Wow.
Yeah.
Chinatown.
Planet of the Apes.
Papillon. Yeah.
Interesting.
Alien.
Papillon.
Yeah.
Poltergeist. Secret of Nim. Gremlins.
Yeah, Jerry Goldsmith.
Total Recall. Basic Instinct. Rudy. Air Force One. LA Confidential. Mulan. The Mummy. Rambo. The Explorers.
Right. Awesome.
Wow. So yeah, that's our cast and crew. There are a couple fellows we haven't heard from yet who I would like to see what they thought of it, though.
Coming up next at the movies, what has long blonde hair and flies? Supergirl is a major disappointment containing none of the humor or special effects or frankly even the acting of the recent Superman series of movies. Instead, this Supergirl looks like a quickie cash-in on Superman ripoff featuring the lackluster Helen Slater as the Girl of Steel. Boy, it is really sad to see Faye Dunaway shaking a branch in a movie wearing a ridiculous dress. Right there you see the problem with Supergirl. The movie has neither a charismatic hero nor an intriguing villain. Faye Dunaway is playing a role built for Hermione Gingold. Dunaway is much too slick to play such a heavy character part, and I probably ought to apologize to Hermione Gingold. She has better taste than that, a finer actress than that. She wouldn't get caught dead in this movie. But Faye Dunaway should be playing a more slick villain. And as for my money, Supergirl should have been played by somebody more like Karen Allen, a little tougher, a little hipper, just as cute. There are dozens of other problems with this film, but I'll leave it at a bad hero, a bad villain, lousy special effects, and a dumb
Is that it?
That's the list.
Okay, you've been trying to put Karen Allen in every picture that came out this fall, except the one that she was in.
That's right.
I'll tell you, I'm usually a sucker for a movie that has lines like, "The Amiga Hedron, Selena, I want it." But this movie is a total disaster, and it's a real disappointment. And part of it is that they don't play it straight, if you will.
Yes.
I mean, even though there were comic moments in the other Superman movies, the good ones, especially the first one, took itself seriously, and then you can build on that. But Superman, at least, has to seem as if he believes that he has these powers and that he's involved in the situation.
Yes.
This movie doesn't really give us that from Supergirl or from any of the other characters. It's a sideshow.
I wish they had just ripped it off moment for moment. And then the beginning segments in Smallville, when Superman grows up, were wonderful odes to rural America.
Glenn Ford.
Why can't we do that again? Why can't we see him have fun on dates and stuff like that? This movie just is some kind of camp quickie
it's just kind of like this is a switch. It's a human version of a Saturday morning cartoon. Next at the movies, Gene Hackman as the world's richest man and Teresa Russell as the daughter who drives him mad.
Sounds like he was describing Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I don't know what that movie was.
And Karen Allen? I don't know.
Yeah.
She looks exactly like Margot Kidder to me.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine Karen Allen as
But
Supergirl.
Supergirl, literally, I even noticed it, but they take way more time flying over the majesty of our planet and country than the other Superman movies did. That seems like the sweeping.
It has many flaws, but it looks beautiful.
I think so.
There were some special effect issues, though. I will say, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with their take on the special effects, except for the flying.
The flying looked great.
I
thought the flying was really good, especially like the little jumps she do where she just flew in frame. That was obviously just wire work.
Yeah.
That looked great.
There were some clear improvements from the Superman movies to this.
Yeah,
and Gene Siskel, I forgot. He was a hard ass.
He's a critic, man. He's a real critic.
Yeah. Oh, they both are. Yeah, absolutely. He was hard to impress.
Yeah. So, all right. I guess, are we ready to jump into this?
Yes.
Aye.
Squirt.
Squirt. All right, here we go. Supergirl. We open on what I'd say are some pretty snazzy credits there.
Lots of whoosh.
Yeah, they look. I remember those from a kid. Like they were like the Superman credits. They were kind of 70s. This one looked full on 80s. These were 80s credits.
Flying mirror letters.
Yeah.
And sunset
flying through
colors.
smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, they looked great.
Clouds. What
Smoke
have
and
you.
mirrors.
Then we come upon an isolated Kryptonian community named Argo City, which is in a pocket of trans-dimensional space.
Is this an Argonaut reference? Is this like a Trojan Argonaut kind of thing going on?
I don't
with Argo.
I don't maybe I don't know.
We don't know for sure.
I am very okay. I'm very confused as to Argo City's relationship with that lake.
Right. Yeah. What? The connection to the lake.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in the lake.
Well, the gate to this pocket of transdimensional space lies within the lake. Then possibly.
Well, that's just the way that the Omegahedron went. It could have gone another way, I suppose.
Okay.
Another direction.
All right. So she came. Okay. So she broke through into our direction from the bottom of the lake. The Omegahedron, and then she followed.
Yeah. Argo City is in what they call inner space.
Oh yeah,
is what's
Peter
all.
O'Toole was
the Dennis Quaid movie.
Yeah, it's inside Dennis Quaid.
Yeah,
right.
Elementary.
6-dimensional geography is involved.
Yeah,
he explains that they're talking about Saturn and Jupiter and they say and Earth, and they say that those planets are in outer space and Argo City is currently existing in inner space.
So bullshit.
Yeah.
Cocaine and wood.
Well, and you said it was introduced, that many years ago, Argo City. Has it been explained how that, how a city itself broke off from Krypton?
Yeah.
The way it was before people living.
I can't tell you at this time. Argo City.
I'm not cleared, or
exactly.
I can totally accept that.
It's above your pay grade.
Yeah, so many things are.
Argo City is also a device that they used in the CW Supergirl. But it doesn't exist in inner space. It's just somewhere out in space.
Yeah.
And in the comic books too,
it
was floating out. They just they did something. They first saw the tragedy and I don't know, used their science tools to
the Omegahedron.
The Omegahedron,
the glowing stick in the Omegahedron.
Yeah. They used a giant space shovel to just pick up the city and
just take off.
Yeah.
Well,
so I wonder if they were at the General Zod mixer from Superman 1, where that guy's just like, no, we're not telling people it's blowing up.
I could conjecture with seriousness that they projected a force field around the city at the time of the explosion. So then the whole city in the force field was just
that's why we hire
launched into space.
And that makes sense. But they obviously did away with the force field because it's just paper that's
saran wrap.
That's covering it.
And they really are up on Earth's solar system.
They talk about.
Well, the only Kryptonian news is Superman.
Well, so I guess good point.
They seem to have some sort of ability to view events on Earth,
right? But only partially.
Only partially. Yeah.
Zoltar's making a tree, but he doesn't quite have it right.
Yeah, he doesn't really know what a tree looks like. But they do know that
it's confusing.
They do know that Kal-El is on Earth.
Yeah, they do know that.
Super into that.
Well, they don't. Not only do they know it, but Okay, so she's from the House of El or whatever. So she would probably recognize the symbol. But how do they know the rest of Superman's costume? How do they know what Superman looks like? Can they view his adventures?
Well, I mean,
that was unclear.
And what's the
Yes.
limit to that? Are they like just watching him constantly? Like it's
Right.
the only thing happening.
it's like the Truman Show.
Yeah,
I mean, I could
Clark's
understand
in the
that, like
bathroom
in
and
the
they're like-
legends we've been told, Kal-El was sent off as the last son of Krypton, but
Right.
they can they know what he's up to.
It was just a Kryptonian reality
sure
TV show.
I'm sure there's a bunch of like teenagers in Argo City who are last son of Krypton my ass.
Yeah, exactly.
They do know that Kal-El is running around as Superman.
They sure are. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they sure do.
Oh, I conjectured at some point that her frilly clothes from Argo City,
right?
That was in 6-dimensional space. So when she comes out of the lake and she's dressed as Supergirl, that is what her clothes look like in 3-dimensional space.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because
buy that for
her
$1.
clothes during the trip, like she raises her arms and they change while she's in the ship.
Clearly switching dimensions.
Yeah, so maybe that's when she came over dimension.
Man, I wish we
Changes
could
your
have seen
clothes.
that Cosby sweater. In,
I know.
the third
That
dimension.
Zoltar has.
Yeah.
All right, so
Fantastic, that sweater.
we meet Kara Zor-El.
She's essentially a baby.
Looks comfy.
She's a toddler.
All right, so
in
yeah,
the body of
good
a
question.
25-year-old woman.
Yeah, is that what? Because she went to the classroom, like, she walked through one classroom, but then she sits down, and it's all children, and her.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
So it's
what
is she another stupid Kryptonian? They're so
It's like school from the colonial days when all the classes were taught in one classroom.
okay. I
Okay,
could
but-
buy that,
but
but there's no trend. There were no tweens in Argo City.
Okay, so but she meets Zoltar. He's making a tree, and he tells her about Earth, where her cousin lives, and then he shows her the Omegahedron, which he borrowed without the knowledge of the city government.
Yet life in Argo City is dependent upon it.
I'm gonna play with it,
Just for a few hours.
right?
Yeah,
For inspiration. For inspiration.
Zod broke a crystal. And he was
All of Superman is dependent on people breaking stuff accidentally. So Alora arrives, Kara's mother, and Zoltar discusses his desire to leave while Kara plays with his magic stick and the Omegahedron.
that he rolls over to her. So it's this thing that's so powerful. He's hiding it under his shoe. And then he rolls it over to her like, yeah, check this out while I have this conversation.
And she uses it to animate a mosquito?
A dragonfly?
A dragonfly?
Yeah.
That was terrifying, by the way. Did anybody else get like it kind of like stop motion kind of effect out of that?
Right.
Yeah.
Weirdly moving.
It was
Uncanny Valley.
Like a Harryhausen.
Well, and she sits there like giggling with her legs spread like she's 3 years old.
Yeah,
like
she is.
playing with it.
But she has the power of a god, and it goes wrong. Her
Yeah.
creation clearly wants to break free and die.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kill me.
She has a mishap with the dragonfly, and the Omegahedron is blown out into
Inner space.
Inner space.
Medium space.
Yeah. Through the rice paper walls of Argo City.
Yes.
And she almost
Oh yeah,
gets
she almost gets
sucked out into
that's right.
true.
medium
He's got to use
middle space.
his Harry Potter wand thing that he has.
He just zips that thing right up, man.
Yeah. Just zip,
Yeah.
zap. Zoltar says he will go through the Bino chute and leave the
Oh, the
city.
binary shoot.
Binary shoot.
Yes,
Binary
okay.
chute.
Let's call it the Bino shoot.
All right, so now it makes sense to me, maybe. So inner space and outer space, those are the two things they're referring to in the binary.
The binary
Binary
chute is just
chute
like a
goes
trash
between the
chute in
two?
an apartment building. Just
Well,
like there's a
yeah.
chute, you know?
And it takes you to Earth. He thinks it takes you to Earth or can take you to Earth.
I think he wanted to go to Venus. He was talking about with
Oh, wow.
Allura earlier.
Yep.
So I think he thinks it could take you anywhere into
I
the
see.
outer space. It just depends on which direction you wanted
where
to
you
go.
wanted to go. It's like
Yeah.
So there are two directions because binary,
yeah. Well,
Right, but it didn't just go to Earth, is what I'm
I
saying.
know, I got you.
it could come to the third dimension or the sixth,
the sixth
inner
dimension.
space or outer space.
Yeah.
Um,
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Right.
That's, you know.
There's a lot of science BS going on and just a lot of terms being thrown out.
Harmony and understanding.
But Peter O'Toole does not drop it once, I will tell you that. I mean, like, yeah, there is a lot of bullshit science.
For a drunk guy, but he's a smooth operator.
I think being drunk helped him buy it more.
Oh, yeah. Of course, yeah. It doesn't affect him like it does mortal men. That's what we were, he's not drunk the way I get
regular
drunk.
people are drunk.
Yeah. It's like Gatorade for him.
Right.
Yeah, he would go in and do Othello hammered. I fall down.
Seriously, though.
Kara, guilty from losing the Omega Hedron, enters the binary chute and leaves. Zoltar says he must be punished and sent to the Phantom Zone, where his suffering will be eternal.
Your suffering will be short. Mine will last forever.
He's sentenced to himself.
And they're just, they say to him, like, dude, the city's gonna die in like 4 days. And he's like, well, I'm gonna suffer forever.
Yeah,
y'all are gonna fucking die.
Yeah, just like with Zod. Like,
or
I know this is gonna blow up, but before that.
Or hear me out. What if they all go to the Phantom Zone and don't die, and then try to escape?
Right.
Climb out the devil's anus or whatever that thing was.
Gentrify the Phantom Zone.
The Zod Squad is just like
waterfront condos.
Open a Chipotle.
Absolutely, and they'll come.
They're all going to come out looking goth in that leather and stuff with the Zod Squad. They're going to go in dressed like Mia Farrow.
Like sugar pie, honey bunch.
The Zodettes.
On Earth, we meet Selena and Nigel, who are picnicking.
Peter Cook. Shout out to Peter Cook.
Peter Cook. I didn't get to Peter Cook in the intro.
Right.
Yeah. Brother.
I did.
Yeah, give it to us.
Give us
He's one of my favorites.
Peter Cook. I just wrote down a few credits. In my time, probably best known as the clergyman from Princess Bride.
Malwidge. Yes.
Credited as the impressive clergyman.
Mm-hmm.
Quite.
He was. Oh, I remember this. He was Lord Lamborn in Yellowbeard.
Which
is a great movie.
It really is.
He was the Mad Hatter in the 1966 TV movie Alice in Wonderland.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, and he was a sketch comedian with his partner Dudley Moore.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And was it Do Not Adjust Your Set? Which one were they on? But anyways. Yeah. But they had a show. Yeah.
Selena and Nigel are picnicking and discussing world domination.
They're picnicking on a tiger rug.
A tiger rug.
Tiger skin rug.
Yeah.
White tiger.
I'll send it. Yeah.
She can't pay the fucking rent. And she has a tiger skin
rug. Well, I really want to get to that when we get to that. But tiger skin rug. And he puts the pate or whatever that stuff was
cheese
on the tiger's head.
Cheese dip. Fondue.
Fondue.
The Omega Hedron bursts from the water and lands in the fondue.
Oh, before that, Selena just musing about how she wants to rule the world.
Right.
Just just right out of the someday I'll rule the world.
And then speaking of princess.
But then Nigel suggests invisibility.
Yes.
Like as that's the tool you need to rule the world.
Okay,
so doesn't he tell her speaking of Princess Bride, doesn't he say, I found you reading tea leaves in Toledo or something?
Yeah.
It just reminded me of the unemployed in Greenland. Look where I found you.
So just they just introduced witchcraft.
Yeah, casually
in a series which has had no supernatural elements.
No real estate deals and a honeymoon racket.
Time travel.
Yeah, like powerful aliens.
No bad guy did that.
Yeah, but that was physics.
That's Superman's expanded power set.
It wasn't magic.
Yeah.
So now there's magic.
Uh-huh.
It lands in the fondue, the Omega Hedron does, and is recovered by Selena. While not knowing exactly what it is, Selena quickly realizes.
What do you mean exactly? At all?
In any way, shape, or form.
I don't think anybody knows exactly what it is. Yeah.
The shit fell in the bowl.
She's like, it's mine.
She's off to the races.
Right. Yeah, no, like a slap, boom, bang.
Like, damn, this changes my radio set.
I can start a car.
Wait,
I know I can start a car with this. I know I can.
I don't need my fucking boyfriend.
I find lots of things by the lake.
Most of them are used condoms, but sure.
But this seems special.
More special, anyways. She leaves.
Elle's got the notebook loaded.
What's up, Al?
Ready to fire.
I'm just looking. Yeah. Oh. She chants something about everlasting life.
Yeah.
And tells Nigel that she's outgrown him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Takes off in the car. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Using the omegahedron to start it.
She's so confident that this thing will do all these abstract things in her mind that she just bails on Nigel. Just
Thus beginning,
I am done with you.
The most dynamic character arc in the entire film, Nigel's.
Yes. Nigel.
Yeah. So I thought he was just like a warlock con man type. He's a math teacher.
Yeah.
He is a math teacher. And so, but is he doing any of his own magic until... Well,
he does later.
I
have some.
Okay, so Supergirl at some point bursts forth from the lake.
Oh, right. And he's still there to see it, right?
Classic reverse dry up out of the water shot.
That wasn't the same lake.
Was it different?
Yes, I believe that the lake that she burst out of was miles away because she did a lot of flying before Nigel saw her.
Where does he see her? At the lake he's stuck at?
Yeah, he's still at the park. And she flies overhead.
Okay.
Okay.
But this was after she's done a bit of flying already.
Gotcha.
So I don't think it was the lake right next. So he didn't see her burst out of the water. He just saw her fly overhead.
Needless to say, continuity might be an issue.
It's funny. They mentioned Chicago several times. So they're in the greater Chicago area.
Yeah. So she flies around and lands on, I guess that would probably be Lake Michigan then?
Somewhere in Naperville.
The tinier Finger Lakes around them.
What's that John Hughes
which
city?
one?
The town?
Oh, Shermer.
They're in Shermer.
Yeah.
But yeah, she lands on the banks of a large body of water that looks ocean-like. So I would assume since they're in the Midwest, it's probably Lake Michigan.
Yeah, you're right.
Before she busts out, when the car starts, we hear on the radio.
Yes.
There's an advertisement for TWA first,
which Supergirl did a TWA actual advertisement in our world.
Oh, wow. Gotcha. Yeah.
Huh.
And then the announcer says that Superman has embarked on a special peacekeeping mission to a galaxy scientists estimate to be several 100 trillion light years from our own.
So peace between our worlds is essential.
We will never know the residents of
this. They're like, whoa, in 40 years, these people are going to be a real problem for us.
So Superman will not be appearing in this movie.
Right. Yes, explained him right out.
Selena arrives at an abandoned carnival where she apparently lives with Bianca.
Oh, wait, before we get to that, I want to talk about the flying.
Okay.
She bursts out of the lake and she's on the edge of the lake. She crushes a rock.
Yeah, that was neat.
And she picks a flower and causes it to bloom with her heat vision.
Yeah, that was a new one.
And then she smells the flower, and the scent of the flower causes her to learn flight, essentially.
It's like Peter Pan with joy.
Yeah, something like that. And then she does some sky dancing.
Yeah,
she does.
So she's come to this place. She's been in innerspace for a long time, and it's kind of boring and dreary. Zoltar said a lot about that.
She's treated like a child.
Yeah. So she gets here and she's just immediately enchanted.
Yeah.
By the earth, just sheer delight.
Yeah. She loves it.
And then she starts to fly. Superman didn't learn to fly until he was like 30 years old. After the 12 years with
I see where this argument is.
The first time we saw him fly was when he was leaving the fortress. Yeah.
He had to learn that.
Right.
He's a dumb boy.
He is dumb. He's dumb.
Is.
The Zod Squad, they learn flight pretty much immediately. And their immediate reaction is to try and take over the world. World domination. We have these superpowers. Kara Zor-El, she gets here and she's just head over heels. With joy, and she goes flying, and sincerely I feel like this is my favorite part of the movie. Just the joy of flying around,
flying over like the horses.
It's all downhill
flying over
here,
the horses,
folks.
flying over the waterfall.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was mentioning.
It got me every time.
Yeah,
and they're
majestic.
I want to bring up Superman the animated series, the first appearance of Supergirl in that, the same sort of thing, but he found her suspended animated body, brought her back to Earth, and the first scene where she's not in suspended animation, she's flying over the fields of Kansas. It's the same sort of feeling that I got then. It's just she's flying with geese and just sheer joy.
No, it's a good sequence. It's one of the best sequences in the film, for sure.
I want to know why she's not naked when she lands on Earth like Kal-El that we had to see so many times.
It's all about the baby dick.
Yep.
It is.
But there was another thing that occurred to me, that she and the Zod Squad, when they show up on Earth, they already know English.
Yeah. They know it on the moon.
Yes, they do.
Kal-El, he had to learn English.
Yes. Well,
I mean, growing up, unless they just speak English on Krypton.
Are we to assume, Krypton is just American accented English?
Intergalactic basic.
Yeah.
English, it's the King's English. The
They've
King
got
of
Duolingo
space.
there.
Move on. Don't think about it.
Yeah, okay.
So Selena arrives at an abandoned carnival where she lives with Bianca.
Who pays rent, property taxes, and utilities.
Right? Like, what is Selena bringing to this roommate
No,
relationship?
but how do you come to rent an abandoned carnival and then water and power is like charging you utilities?
Witchcraft.
I thought the whole point of
I assume she's
thought,
some sort of witchcraft
she
to
gets
get
a
this
bill from water
deal.
and power.
I thought the whole point of living in an abandoned carnival is that you're like under the radar.
Yeah, it's free. Squatters' rights. No, she's like property taxes. So they own that.
Yeah.
They own that carnival.
At some point, Selena and Bianca got together and said, you know what we should buy? An abandoned carnival.
Roomies.
We got to refinance,
Yeah, totally.
HELOC is killing me.
Selena tells her she has a solution to their money problems. At that point, we cut back to Kara, who flies to a city, Chicago, maybe?
Area, yeah.
Midland City.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Where her her Fitbit starts flashing.
I wrote Fitbit too.
Yeah, so did I.
It's like we share.
I totally did.
It's like we share
Hundreds
cultural
of
references.
trillions of miles today.
How did we all know about Fitbit?
She lands and encounters two pretty rapey truck drivers.
Oh, okay, yeah. They're slowly driving.
Yes.
There's two of them, but yeah, they get their full rig, just cruising through the city at night.
And they see her. They see her land.
Yep.
And one of them is Matt Frewer.
One of them is Matt Frewer.
Yes.
Yeah.
From
Max Headroom.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah. She kicks those dudes right in the fucking nards, ladies and gents.
Yeah, they assault her, and she just kicks their asses.
She says, "Where am I?" And Matt Frewer's, I think it was him, says, "Lover's Lane."
Right, that's right.
It's like, oh, kick him in the nards. That was my favorite action sequence, was the kicking of the nards into the trash. It's great.
That was good.
Well, because if you're going to have a female empowerment story,
somebody's getting kicked in the nuts.
Somebody's getting kicked in the nuts.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Nothing wrong. That sends a message.
They also see her outfit and they ask if she's Superman's best friend. She says, no, his cousin.
So
it was just like,
at that point, okay, so
like they were Luke Benson.
I'm a truck driver. I'm out raping and
with my buddy,
my raping buddy, and I come across a girl who's dressed like Superman,
who flew in,
who I saw fly in. I'm going to go. Then I would probably think, hey, maybe she has the same powers as Superman.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't rape this one.
But she's a lady, so I don't know if she can have the same powers as Superman.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, flying plus.
That's
sex.
exactly it. They're totally just discounting her power.
Yeah.
Of course.
So they say, we're just looking for a good time. And she says, why are you doing this? And they explain it. It's just the way that we are.
Yeah. So does he mean humans or men?
I think just them.
Those
two.
Wow,
those
right
two
down
guys.
to it. Okay,
Yeah.
that is a succinct answer.
It's just the way we are.
Okay, then there's no confusion there.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's just what we do.
it's just me and this dude. And that's what we do.
Wow.
I was drawn that way.
Roaming the
And
hillside.
so was he.
Yeah.
And then they say, don't tell anyone about this. They make a pact to not tell anyone.
Yeah.
I just have a question. Don't tell anyone about the attempted rape or the failure of the attempted rape, which is more embarrassing to these guys.
They seemed they seemed like they wanted to tell people about their raping.
They
just didn't want anyone to know that they failed to rape.
So that was my question exactly.
Yeah, no, that's my take.
In their world, it's worse to fail at rape
Very two-dimensional villains.
Yeah.
A
couple of men.
More like bowling pins than villains, but
yeah. She had to do something. Yeah.
Somebody's got to get kicked
right
in
off
the
the
nuts.
bat. Yeah.
Meanwhile, at Selena's abandoned theme park, she's hosting a very 80s party. She tells Nigel that the partygoers are her army of the night, and she's considering world domination yet again.
It's her witch party.
Yep, it's her witch party. Nigel is worried about Superman and is unimpressed by her show of power.
Supergirl.
Supergirl.
He warns of Supergirl.
Yes. Supergirl. Yes.
Yes. Because he saw her flying.
Yes.
Yeah.
And is unimpressed by her show of power. He shows her a disturbing vision. Then he hits on a blonde lady.
It was a demon in his cigarette case.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. She uses her nail, not her finger, but her nail to light his cigarette.
Oh, that's right.
I have the power. What power? The power of voodoo.
Yeah, exactly. What power, Selena?
Nigel flirts with the blonde girl, and Selena turns her pineapple into a scorpion.
That's symbolism right there, folks.
Yeah. Selena's, she kicks Nigel out, and he gives her one last warning about her hubris. Meanwhile, Kara's sleeping in the park.
Yeah.
With some bunnies.
Bunny rabbit,
super cute.
Totally seems to have forgotten what she's there for.
Yeah,
she's a child.
She's going Snow White.
She has to sleep too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Arguably.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah. She's awakened by a softball game. She notices the uniforms of the girl.
Yeah, the important time in a young lady's life when she discovers softball. She's so enthralled. Supergirl's like, what is that?
Well, she's like, your horses.
These are the first teenagers she's ever seen.
Absolutely.
It's all adults and toddlers in Argo City.
Yeah.
It's justified for sure, but again, that's all Kryptonians want to do. Set up some alter ego with a job in it.
I'm Kara. I'm fresh in from Krypton, and I am down to incognito.
I have a lot of questions about her cover story. Because she shows up.
Her lack of a cover story.
Yeah. And
I think we'll get there.
We'll get
there.
We will.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So, she notices the uniforms girls are wearing and uses her powers to change her clothes to match theirs,
and her haircut.
Yeah. So this is another new Kryptonian power, which we spoke.
Shape shifting.
Bottle blonde. Boom.
Yeah.
Gone like that.
Yes. Josh asked me about this earlier, and I thought about it for a second. Not necessarily her Kryptonian powers, but it could be the power of the magic Fitbit.
Oh.
That Zoltar had created.
Okay.
Using the Omega Hedron.
Okay.
All right, I'm back.
It's not explicit, but okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll buy that.
Good job, Al.
Retcon that explanation.
Sure.
Get this man a no prize.
It's more confusing as to why Selena had a container to perfectly hold the Omega Hedron.
Yeah.
Thank God I picked this up.
Yeah. I had nothing to put in this container prior to this.
Right.
So Linda enters the school. Oh, yes. No, Kara enters the school. She's not yet Linda.
She's not 48 working at HR.
Let me tell you, honey.
All right. So, Kara walks into the principal's office.
Yeah, she enters the school headmaster's office where she identifies herself as Linda Lee. Nigel enters as he's a math teacher there.
Yep. That was a shocking reveal.
Yes.
So this is the office of Principal Danvers. The actor's name is David Healy. He was in Clue as Professor Plum.
Huh.
Oh.
And he was also in Labyrinth. We've had a lot of Labyrinth actors.
Well, this is a British production. This was.
He was the right door knocker.
Okay.
As we recall from Superman 3, the left door knocker was the guy who played the tanker captain.
Yeah.
Both door knockers.
Did he invent the shoe?
Nice
the
knockers. The Healy. Or, I wonder if he's related to Pat Healy, who was Commissioner Gordon in the Burton Batmans.
Interesting.
But anyway.
So Nigel enters, pulls the principal away for a moment, where Kara forges a recommendation letter from her cousin Clark Kent.
Because she's also an excellent typist. We got to see this time.
Yes. Yeah. Finally,
quite impressive.
That typing, on-screen typing we were craving.
Well, and we kept joking about, where did Clark get his resume? She knew right away. She's like, I got to falsify some paperwork.
Yeah.
To get
she knew where to put it.
Clark's whole thing moving.
Clark spent years picking that resume. He's like, nope.
He just convinced Perry White. All right.
Yeah. let's see. So the principal accepts that, shows her to her room, and she meets her roommate, Lucy Lane.
There's some A&W product placement.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. The younger sister of Lois Lane. Yeah.
Oh, just when they come into the dorm, one of the girls screams "man on the floor," and panic ensues with all the girls.
Doesn't he say something like "it's nothing I haven't seen before" or something like that?
It does make it.
When he knocks on the door to Lucy Lane's room, she says, "I'm not decent, Mr. Danvers." And he says, "And you never will be, you little liar."
Oh my!
Or maybe that wasn't Lucy Lane.
That was Lucy Lane.
Yeah, that
was
was
definitely Lucy Lane. Yeah.
And you never will be.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, a whole lot.
Lane, Lois's sister.
Lois's little sister, who happens to be studying there. Well, that's a happy coincidence, huh?
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Wow.
He mixes up their names because it's Linda Lee and Lucy Lane,
and they do a bit.
And they do a bit, but when he said Lucy Lee, Siri woke up.
Whoa!
On my phone, just a fun thing. I did it several times. So
Siri is seeing someone on the side. That was a tongue twister.
I was listening to a podcast in my car the other day, and someone on it said Gugon, and I have an Android. Google woke up.
Right.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. So she sees Lucy's poster of Superman and has herself a moment.
Lucy Lane, the actress, was Maureen Teefy. Mm-hmm. She was in Grease 2 and also Max Headroom.
Interesting.
Wow. That's.
Kara's awestruck by the poster of Superman.
Yes, she is.
Lucy says he's a real character, a real hunk.
Yeah. And she knows Clark.
Hunk was such an 80s thing. Like, ladies in the 80s were all about hunks.
Yeah. There's a hunk of something.
Some history about Lucy Lane. At one point, she assumed the mantle of Superwoman in the comics.
What?
There was a time. I don't have a time frame for that, but there was. Lucy Lane was Superwoman at some point.
Interesting.
The Lane family.
The Lanes. Nigel is teaching a computer class when out the window Selena arrives and sees groundskeeper Ethan, who catches her and Bianca's eye.
Ethan's a total Lois.
Yeah.
In this movie? Yeah.
Yes.
Like having to do things unnecessarily to help him or save him or
a complete Lois.
Confused all the time.
Well, and is he supposed to be dumb prior to getting whammied, or like
I don't know?
Yes,
because later on he wasn't dumb, but he was dumb.
He's at the softball game.
Yes,
and they hit a softball, and it takes him about 45 seconds to turn around and throw the ball.
Yes.
So of course a lot of that's just blocking and how do you make these scenes lie out in order.
Yeah.
But it took the guy so long, and they're like, "Throw it over here." He's just like, "Oh, me, this ball. Give me a few moments to figure out how to move my body in that direction."
Krypton.
He's clearly adult,
Yeah, no, he's
interesting choice then.
Yeah,
she's kind of dumb, so they paired them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she is pretty. Both the leads are really dumb.
That's a good.
Everybody's really dumb in this movie, except for maybe Nigel.
Well,
I don't. Yeah,
and
I don't
Zalthar.
Know. Okay, Nigel.
Who is pretty damn dumb too.
Selina's pretty dumb. Yeah, Bianca. Yeah. I don't know about Bianca. She
Bianca
may be all right.
might have some smart.
She's clever.
She never should have signed that lease on the abandoned.
She never should have put the water bill in her name.
Right, exactly.
So Kara gets a notification that the Omega Hadron is nearby.
Yeah. You've got about 500 more steps to go.
But she can't leave the computer class. She answers a very difficult question, and Nigel becomes
Goodwill Hunting
suspicious.
Yeah. She makes a comment. It's like, 6-dimensional geography. I never.
Is it geography? I always heard geometry.
Geography.
Is it geography?
I thought it was geometry.
I thought it was
geometry.
Too. Maybe it was geography.
Yeah,
Innerspace works differently. You're the scientist. I don't know. I can't do math.
I'm pretty sure I checked it several times. And
geography.
Geography. Yeah.
Okay. Geometry.
No, I checked it because it sounded weird to me.
Yeah.
So why did that help her with this math equation?
Well, 6-dimensional stuff. It was just she was able to just picture it in her head.
All right.
But she said she uttered it like 6-dimensional geography. I could never do it before. And he asked her how she knew the answer, and Lucy butts in, says, "It's this crazy weather we've been having. It makes people smarter for a second."
Yeah.
And Nigel seems to buy that.
Well, all right then.
But then Lucy says to Kara, Linda, whatever, don't go showing it off. Nobody's going to like you.
Yeah.
Right. Which, okay, so that was a thing. I mean, at that time, like, I remember in actual real life school, like, smart, like, don't be smart.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get bullied.
Yeah.
The kids won't like you.
And especially for young ladies. Yeah. You know,
I'm sure.
Don't seem too smart. Boys won't like you.
You'll never get a
boys
husband
don't like
with that smart mouth of yours.
Yes, exactly. Just
young
that whole
lady.
trip.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah. So the girls then proceed to play field hockey. Kara saves Lucy from like a fucking concussion.
Yeah, the
field hockey ball.
The bullies are
the field hockey ball just explodes on her shoulder.
Yeah. So what force, man?
I can't believe that whoever hit that.
It was a 15-year-old girl.
Right. It was a 15-year-old girl.
That was a cyborg with a cannon.
That if that had hit Lucy in the head, her head probably would have exploded.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Wait.
Exactly.
Are you telling me that there's a inconsistency with known physics in a movie about an alien who comes and fights a witch?
That's precisely what I'm saying.
God damn it!
Let's write a letter to the Salkins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they try to disfigure the entire field hockey team in the showers.
The shower scalding.
Dear Lord.
It reminded me of Carrie.
Yeah, that's intense. That wasn't like lighthearted.
So yeah, Kara uses super hearing, X-ray vision, and heat vision to foil the scalding plot.
That was pretty cool though. That she could, you could see it like a TV screen.
Yeah,
like she was looking through the.
Yeah,
I liked it.
That was cool.
Yeah, this is a really weird bullying moment.
It really is.
This could have been so much more nuanced and had been more realistic in the sense that, like, I don't think, I don't know. I wasn't a girl. I didn't grow up a girl. I don't remember girls bullying other girls that way.
Oh,
no.
This is very like a Revenge of the Nerds kind of bullying thing.
What was it? Okay,
I've seen a lot.
But, I mean, what is it Elaine says in Seinfeld that girls don't do that? They just are catty to each other until they get an eating disorder.
Yeah. That's which not to say like that would have been much better, but it just felt like a bunch of dudes writing women.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not to say that. I mean, hey, that's not to say that girls can't physically bully other.
That's true.
Girls.
True. It's very true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was very out of like a character of like the bully.
Well, I mean, I was a kid, and for 20 years now, I've worked with teenagers and preteens, and they are every bit as ruthless and cruel and physical, and there's nothing a girl can do that a boy can do.
Kids suck. That's
right, exactly.
Kids suck.
But I get your point, Brad.
School,
yeah,
it's
exactly. They've got to pick up the weight for all of the pranks. All the bullying.
I just found the intensity of the bullying to be a little much.
That's what I meant. Yeah, it reminded me of Carrie. In the beginning, plug it up.
I could have just seen them being like, "That girl's an alien." Boom. Super effective bullying right there.
That gets it.
She's self-conscious. Bam.
So Lucy invites Linda to her house for the weekend to meet Jimmy Olsen.
She wants to pierce Linda's ears.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Because the guys will go crazy. They'll go crazy.
Also, Jimmy Olsen's an adult.
Yeah.
And these are
so
high
let's
schoolers.
Get to that.
Yeah. So
noted child molester Jimmy Olsen.
I can't remember which movie it was in of the Supermen, but Jimmy had made a comment at some point that most of his friends are still in high school.
I mean, if it was the first one, maybe he was like 18 or 19 at the time doing like an internship at the paper.
It's been years since the first one. So Jimmy's like 25.
This is 6 years later.
Well, and
he's in his mid-20s.
and ostensibly, it's the distance between New York and Chicago because Jimmy lives in Metropolis. She's in the Chicago area.
Yeah.
Obviously, they met through Lois. That's plausible. But yeah,
what's the age of consent in Illinois?
Does that matter?
In
Yeah, let's
1984.
not, I don't know.
I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to go down that road.
You could be a naked kid in a spaceship.
Needless to say.
But I don't know.
Well, that was the 70s, not the 80s.
Oh, right.
Jimmy Olsen's got questionable judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy Olsen should not be going to high school parties.
Not to mention, he's probably got cocaine in his bag and he's bringing it to these high school kids.
Yeah, totally.
For sure.
He's the candy man.
Yeah.
But
it's problems all over.
Also, he serves as the only crossover
character
from
the only actor that agreed to come over.
He's
got to get paid somehow.
Hell yeah. Yeah, $40 a week, yo.
Right.
Yeah, right. That night, after all the girls have left for the weekend, Linda takes to the sky and searches for the Omegahedron.
Lucy had made a comment when she was leaving. She said, "See you later at Popeyes, huh?"
Yep.
And I thought, chicken?
It's mentioned.
Chicken?
Yeah, it is Popeyes chicken.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
There's
they
quite
even
a bit.
show some signs a couple times in another one.
Yeah,
or
well,
another scene.
The large
that's right,
action sequences.
Well, yeah, and they're clearly in Popeyes. You can see the waitresses.
Somebody references it.
Oh, okay.
Like they have the best.
Yeah.
They had
say
onion
have the best-
rings
No,
or
no.
something?
Jimmy
Something like
Olsen and the teens are inside of Popeyes. They have a scene inside the Popeyes.
Right.
Everyone's wearing Popeyes stuff. They take out sandwiches and are like,
Yes,
Popeyes.
but this is interesting because KFC and in Metropolis, it's all about KFC.
That's
Oh,
right.
interesting.
So Selena is cooking up a spell when Ethan arrives at the abandoned carnival to do a job.
Like yard work, I
Yeah.
think. He's like, "Where's your yard?"
Right.
Like I do yard work.
Yeah.
Where is yard?
Am I raking trash?
Yeah.
Yard
did
here.
you cast a love spell on him or an anti-landscaping?
Right.
Because he wasn't able to do that anymore.
No.
So earlier, when Selena was flying around looking for the Omegahedron, she flies over Comiskey Park.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
That's Chicago, yeah.
But back to Ethan. This is another incredible coincidence. Like just the fact that this is the guy that she's gonna fall in love with,
Right?
This
Luke Wilson looking.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a coincidence that he shows up at the carnival, or
just the fact that he's at the softball game.
No, that's because Bianca and Selena saw him and they were like, "Ooh, he's hunky," and they got his number and called him because Selena was like, "I want a piece of that."
She saw him on their like mirror TV thing that they have. They can see into the present.
So weird.
So she invites him in for a drink, which she spikes with the potion. He chugs the malt liquor.
Was it Schlitz?
Oh yeah, it was Schlitz malt liquor. That's so great. But wait a minute. And she probably mentions it, right? But why did she cast a spell and not use the Omegahedron to get that dude?
Yeah. Just like make this dude love me.
Right.
Boom.
Well, it starts cars. It lights cigarettes.
Well,
with her finger.
did she, I think she used the Omegahedron when she was making the potion.
Oh, because otherwise that potion would have been bullshit. I guess that makes sense.
She used the Omegahedron to make the potion, which she then later gave to him.
But she got the spell out of a book.
Yeah, she got the spell out of a book.
It involved putting a spider into a walnut. And
yes.
Oh, the spider. Yeah. The spider in the walnut.
And declaring him the king of infinite space.
That's important because later on,
Nigel
and the spider in the walnut. Which is what? Okay, it's a rich tapestry.
Okay, yeah. So cast the spell.
He chugs the malt liquor and he passes out. She puts a spell on him that he will fall in love with the first girl he sees after he awakes from the spell, or the walnut is broken. The first girl, if the walnut breaks, the first chick he's looking at, he loves
for 24 hours.
For 24 hours, yes.
Yeah.
After 24 hours, it's all over.
Right.
Yeah. Nigel arrives and. While Selena's at the door with him,
his leisure suit is great.
Yes, oh my god,
yeah.
He looked like it looked like something Eddie Murphy would wear to do stand up.
All
seriously.
the zippers and the clips.
Or like, I need to use acid to dissolve these bodies. I better put on my latex suit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, no. I mean, a 7-year-old me definitely wanted that outfit.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Yeah, because I know I was lockstep with whatever Peter Cook was into.
Hell yeah, man!
When I was a young,
way cooler
man.
than that McFly nerd get up.
That's true. Right. Yeah, the life preserver.
Ethan awakes and wanders through the funhouse. Nigel's telling Selena she doesn't know how to use the Omegahedron correctly, but she refuses his offer to help and takes her leave of him. magically smiting him with skin lesions.
Yeah.
That's just acne.
Yeah.
We see at this point that the box is growing, the box that the Omegahedron is in.
Yes.
It's getting larger.
She's measuring it with a measuring tape. She's like scientifically measuring. She's like, oh,
size queen.
Wait. Yeah. Wait, this was smaller before. Like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, like that's the most confusing thing about this.
Yeah.
For you. Well, Selena, there's a time in every young witch's life when things get bigger.
So Ethan's disappeared, and Celine is upset, and Bianca says, "Oh, he was too young for you anyway, you know." And she says, "No, I don't know."
Faye Dunaway is just during all of this is just tearing the scenery to shreds.
I think it's great. Yeah, I think she gets it. You know, like she's having the right amount of fun and the right amount of investment.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she's the best part of the
she's
film.
And Bianca.
Yeah. Her and Bianca.
She's great.
Yeah. She's distraught to find that Ethan is left, and she uses a mirror to see him. She doesn't know how she did it, though.
Oh, that's...
She decides to take...
Right, you can see into the present.
She decides to take the Omegahedron out from where she stashed it to give more power to her spells. Meanwhile, Ethan makes his way out to the streets of Midvale and in a daze, and Jimmy Olsen is buying some Popeyes for the local teens.
Right. And totally tells the kids, like, whatever happening with that dude, you know, it's like, he's probably on drugs.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of like Batman and Robin with all they'll just think it's alcoholic hallucination.
Right.
Like, not willing to save anybody's life.
No, he's like, if we ignore it, it will go away.
I'm trying to kidnap these teenagers. I don't have time to help people.
I have teenage girls to impress and groom.
Yeah, and probably take photographs of. I forget that's his shtick. Sorry, we're getting really into this. But yeah, just this whole Jimmy Olsen thing is giving me the creeps.
Jimmy,
it is me
it
too
was
now.
Bad. No, Jimmy in this film was bad.
Lucy says, "What a dingleberry," referring to Ethan wandering through the streets.
And she wants to know.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, I was like, God damn it, please explain it to her.
What's a dingleberry?
Don't let that one go.
But no, she does.
For those of you who no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
just Google it.
What
Don't
do the
Google
kids call them now
Yeah.
on the snap tubes?
Selena uses her powers to chase Ethan with a magically possessed front loader, which runs amok, destroying the town's main street. And Jimmy Olsen's still like, no,
right,
don't go over there.
It chases Ethan around for 2 minutes, I believe, a solid 2 minutes, where everybody they're not really paying attention or they're not doing anything about it.
They had the backlot rented for an entire day. They had to do something with all that space and that front loader thing. So dumb.
So then Lucy decides that it's her job to try and help him.
Lucy jumps aboard trying to stop it, but she's knocked unconscious.
She makes things worse.
Yeah.
Just like Elaine.
She just gets knocked unconscious inside the safety box thing too.
It's such a Elaine move. Yeah. I'm going to do something. Oh no. Supergirl. Linda changes into Supergirl.
I'm in a hurry.
And
I know the feeling.
Oh, yeah. Why did she have to go in the bathroom to change?
Yeah, I don't know.
So nobody would see. I don't know.
No.
Wait, what?
But yeah, I don't
she can make clothes. Yeah, I don't know.
She could have just run.
Every other instance, they just appear on her body.
Well, right, but she just didn't want to do it in front of people.
She needed to have that moment with the girl who worked at Popeyes.
All right.
That was just those.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That was like a fig leaf to women in the audience. Like, you got to pee right now, I bet, right?
Yeah.
We haven't even gotten through the end of Act 1.
So Supergirl changes, saves the day, putting out fires, neutralizing down electrical lines, stops a runaway construction vehicle. She's a busy lady.
Rube Goldberg device.
Yeah. You know? She frees Ethan from its jaws, and he awakes right as Nigel breaks the walnut. He sees her.
Oh, no. The walnut comes later.
That was later?
The breaking the walnut comes later.
Yeah, because the Burundi wand. I want to talk about.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. Well, so he sees her and falls in love with her.
Right.
At that point.
He's been wandering through town.
Oh, that's right. When
this whole time. And now Linda Lee is the first person he's seen this whole time.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because he was wandering around covering his eyes, just like in a daze or something like that.
Yeah.
as one does.
Yeah.
You're such a Supergirl
Yeah, that's
apologist.
true.
Al.
I go through effort to avoid seeing other people.
Yeah, so he falls in love with her as per the spell that Selena cast. Linda runs away.
They name her Supergirl at this point.
Yes.
Selena and Bianca.
She's some sort of Supergirl.
Yeah. So
sweet.
I have written down a storm dragon.
Storm dragon with a question mark.
Yeah.
A Supergirl.
Yeah.
Storm
dragons,
dragons.
Come on,
Storm
it's a real
dragon.
thing. Those exist.
It's
Yeah.
a luck
We're supposed to
dragon.
get a storm dragon tonight.
Atreyu, it's a luck dragon. Selena is furious about Ethan falling in love with Linda.
Not Supergirl.
Not
She's
Supergirl.
thirsty.
Linda.
Just to be clear.
Yeah, he falls in love with Linda.
Well,
not
two different hair
Supergirl.
colors.
Yeah.
Is that something that just a girl that they would if she had the same hair color as her alter ego, it just would be
It's
not
like
convincing?
Clark Kent's glasses.
Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Because it's like, wow, why does she have to change her hair color?
She casts a spell,
Like a jerk.
yeah, which blows up half their fun house, but which causes a magic wind dragon.
Oh, the shadow.
Yeah,
the shadow force.
Yeah.
The shadow.
Meanwhile, Ethan is he quoting Shakespeare or just speaking in some weird sonnet?
I didn't recognize what he was saying.
Yeah.
Well, no. Okay, no. But so, yeah. So, but we cut back to Linda, who's practicing kissing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yes.
this happened wait.
When did Ethan do the Shakespeare stuff?
Like immediately, as soon as he sees her.
Oh, when he's still
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as he sees her and falls in love,
Like, be
he's
still my
saying a lot of these and
compare thee to a summer's day.
Yeah.
Shakespeare
Yeah.
in the park bullshit.
yeah.
Yeah. all
Doth
that
mother
bullshit.
knoweth thou wearest her drapes?
Exactly.
That's all I could think.
Then and he ends up kissing her. Like he kisses her right away.
Right when he's still like at the front loader.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the best place to kiss.
After,
Don't use
and
the
that's why
back.
that's why she's later practicing kissing because
Okay.
because she has
She's
been,
like, I wasn't good enough.
she has been kissed once.
Not for Ethan. Hey everyone, Thoreau from Harmless Phosphorescence here with a message for you. Yes, you listening to me talk. Did you know that the Harmless Entertainment Network has a Patreon? That's right, you can join in and get extra fun like a Star Wars Harmless Phosphorescence miniseries, a patron-only Q&A roundtable episode. We have great bonus episodes of audio dramas like Attention Hellmart Shoppers in 1994. But not only that, if we reach our next patron goal, we'll do a monthly bonus Harmless Phosphorescence about a patron-chosen non-superhero movie. Plus, there are great new shows on the way, and if you're a patron, you'll get to hear them first. Head over to patreon.com/harmless entertainment today, and for the price of a cup of coffee, you too can join our super awesome superhero club. Now, back to the show.
So yeah, she blows up. Selena blows up the half of their house. Which
the fun house?
The fun house. Creating the shadow force.
Yes.
So I was trying to figure out if she was good or bad at magic at this point.
Well, I feel like she's bad at magic.
She doesn't really know what she's doing.
Yeah, but the Omegahedron is very powerful.
It's just compensating.
But she sends the Shadow Force to destroy Linda. And Bianca's just like, why bother? She's a wimp. She's a nobody.
And they refer to her as the wimp thereafter.
Yeah,
Yes.
why is she a wimp?
Yeah, why is she a wimp?
So then, did we miss the Burundi wand? That's
later.
Okay.
That's coming up.
All right, I'm sorry.
We'll get there.
My nipples are hard for this Burundi wand.
So yes, the Shadow Beast arrives. Linda jumps out, turns into Supergirl, and does battle with it. She's whipped about. She fights it. I seriously, the first time I watched this, thought she was just fighting wind. I did not realize she had conjured an invisible beast.
Yes.
That's hard.
Did you catch the car being crushed though?
No, I don't think so.
Not the first time.
It was pretty cool. I thought a pretty cool effect. The car was crushed by the invisible beast, and I have no idea how they did it, but
Wow,
but it looked cool.
Yeah. I missed that.
Yeah, so she finally grabs a light pole and flies into a lightning storm, collecting electricity, then turns to destroy the invisible monster that I had previously thought was a magic whirlwind is what I wrote down.
This was really cool. I thought that like the use of a everyday object, and you could see that she had like a lot of joy. Like, oh wow, that worked. Wow, I'm really clever. I enjoyed that aspect of the fight, and it was a cool visual and everything.
And it's something Clark could do or Superman could do, but doesn't often. You know, just grab things around him and manipulate them. That is cool.
She encounters the world, her external world, a little differently than Superman,
like
does,
a child.
With a kid's kind of wonder or whatever.
Right, where Clark's looking the world like a horny teenager.
Yeah, he's like, I just got to finish this so I can go and try and have sex with Lois.
Right, exactly.
Fucking and punching.
Right.
That's the Clark Kent way.
The Clark Kent story.
Supergirl's a little subtle. She's like, I got to practice kissing. I got to fight with a stick.
I got finals coming up.
Yeah.
And these
school I forged my way into
playing field hockey.
Field hockey bitches are all up in my face.
Yeah, man. Tough crew. That's a tough crew.
Selina is again furious and wants to find out who Supergirl is. She opens the Omegahedron container and it is going crazy.
Supergirl was caught going back into the dorm in her Supergirl outfit. She hadn't changed back to the Linda Lee. She's caught by the drunken dorm attendant.
Yes, right. The RA,
the floor den mother. Whatever. Yeah.
She's like, you're so crazy.
That scene went on way too long. I just kept thinking, like, dude, just change, just get out. She's drunk, clearly.
Just go. So the Linda's bracelet activates and she goes after the missing orb.
Did Selina did anybody mention that this box was made of lead at some point? Did somebody say that?
I don't remember.
Because when she opens the box, then the Omegahedron and the magic Fitbit.
Okay, so if it was made of lead, then that would make sense.
And Superman can't see
communicate,
lead, right?
Yeah,
that's,
yeah. Kryptonians, I'd assume.
Kryptonians, yeah. Supergirl in this instance.
Lead's just your catch-all Kryptonian shield.
That's just X-ray vision. It's not magic. It's science.
It's not magic. Right. So she's led to the abandoned carnival, but she's followed by Ethan, who has flowers and candy. He woos her, and they take a seat in the broken carnival ride.
They see her coming. It's like, oh, the wimp again.
Right.
Yeah.
Strangely, his clumsy advances are working.
He's just stalking her with roses and chocolates.
Yeah.
It's like, you've seen a movie, right? This is what you do.
Right. You find an abandoned carnival.
Like, why are you giving me dead plants and
gives,
sugar?
Yeah.
He gives her flowers and chocolates, and then he tries to pick her up.
Yeah.
Physically pick her up.
Pick her up.
Yeah.
But she's denser
than
humans are, so he can't.
So they kiss and the ride comes to life. Selina's there and she's using her magic to make the ride spin wildly out of control.
I gotta say, before we get to the out of control, Ethan is the worst.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
Everything he's doing, he's trying to be goofy. He's just like he says, "Oh, say my name but once, and I will die." And she says, says Ethan, and he like pretends to die. And just all the these
chicks
and
love that kind of thing, man. They love when you play dead, you know, because they're just like, I could just kill this guy.
Okay, and these two have so Helen Slater can barely act. She has
right.
Don't blame. His bad acting.
So
her,
Ethan's carrying the scene.
No. And Ethan is pretty terrible too. And they have zero chemistry.
Yeah.
And he says, "Marry me."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He goes straight to marriage.
You guys are watching all this. I'm trying to figure out the football teams on these damn freaking bumper cars. I'm like, hey, the Rams. Oh, cool. I don't watch football, you guys, so it's really hard for me to keep up with like 80s football teams, let alone modern football teams.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some cool football team helmets on those bumper cars.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I liked those bumper cars.
At any rate, Supergirl is buying what Ethan is selling.
Oh yeah, she's digging it.
Apparently, her weakness is poetic prose.
Yeah.
Or,
badly delivered.
Or like her cousin, an idiot.
Yeah. They kiss. The ride comes alive. Selina's there. She uses her magic to make the ride spin wildly out of control. And when it stops, only Ethan is in the car. Supergirl arrives and confronts Selena.
I read some of the names of the rides that were around.
Mm-hmm.
One was Easy Rider, the bike you like ride.
That was actually the whole name of the movie.
The bike you like ride.
I think another one was Ghost Train.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to come after Ghost for a second there. I was keeping my fingers crossed.
Those were the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Those sound fun.
Supergirl confronts Selena. Selena magics Ethan into the bumper cars and creates a I don't know. My notes are messy here. So she magics Ethan into the bumper cars and starts. What happens? He starts just spinning him around crazily.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. When they're both in the.
No. After Selena.
Okay.
After Supergirl arrives.
After Supergirl arrives.
Yeah.
Supergirl asks who she is, and she says, "I am Selena, Daedalus of Catania, priestess of Seknid. I am the ultimate siren of Endor."
Yeah.
What?
So she's wait, the ultimate siren of Endor. So she is into Ewoks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You can see her in the new Star Wars movie coming out. Yeah.
Coming out.
Reprising her role.
Kara responds with, "I am Kara of Argo City, daughter of Allura and Zor-El, and I don't scare easily."
Oh,
that's a good
strong
line.
introduction.
Yeah. So
when did you say "damn her eyes"? Doesn't somebody?
I didn't catch it.
I
don't know.
I think that was
it's Selena.
Yeah.
Talking about okay.
Supergirl imprisons Selena, rescues Ethan, and flies away with the entire football.
Oh, right,
the whole time.
Do you think it's just because like they thought it was emasculating for her to carry?
That's all I could say.
So like that's pretty gay, dude. Put me in a football helmet.
And I wonder if he was written that way, and like his agent is like, no, we can't have this guy who's going to be leading hunk in 2 years,
right?
Carried
Just that,
by a lady.
the image of that.
No.
Yeah,
it would have been so much better
that's what
just to have him.
Yeah,
like limp. She's in her arms flying across the countryside.
Or even just like on the side.
So
it's not
Gus style,
like a fireman carrier.
I mean, are they thinking like she's going to look so much stronger carrying this big dumpy football bumper car?
No, you can see the studio notes. Manify it by 25%.
Exactly.
Make it football.
We need more football. We need another football team in there so we get a bigger demographic of men to watch this scene.
Yeah.
Like she could have tossed him onto a park bench and like flown his ass up into the atmosphere, but
right,
the whole thing.
Lex Luthor rode like horsey style on Ursa's,
also
not bumping on her ass.
My issue suspending disbelief about this whole scene is not the flying or anything. That's how you get electrocuted in a bumper car thing, is like you touch the top.
Right, that's how they they have the little
and she just flew his ass right through the roof, just like bzz.
Right up into
that's
the
probably
clouds.
why he was passed out, because he got electrocuted.
Yeah, exactly.
Slept for a while.
Selena escapes her prison, plots her next move. Meanwhile, Supergirl takes Ethan to a faraway lake. We're all about the lakes.
I think it was Canada.
To Canada? She took him to Canada?
Oh, what? I think so.
Why specifically Canada?
Yeah. Well, because it was mountainous. There were a lot of fir trees and whatnot on the lakeside. I don't know. It's close to. It's across the lake from
it's
Chicago.
not far. It's not far at all.
Sure.
I don't know. That was just That's just my perspective.
It's Canada, guys. For Al, it's Canada. All right. Okay. Can we decide?
He's promptly bonked on the head with a coconut that Selena magically sent after him.
A coconut.
Yes, a coconut.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry. So you took Canada from that then?
Also, there's a rule.
Coconuts?
If you've ever lived on an island, don't sleep under the coconut tree.
Yeah.
It will kill you.
Yeah.
Especially when it falls in the brutal winters of the Yukon.
Yeah, you get hit in the head with a coconut. It snaps your neck. You die. People die from this every year.
Ethan should be dead.
Many times over.
But it was a magic coconut.
Yeah, it was a magic coconut. So
Harry Nilsson type coconut.
And it didn't fall out of one of it didn't fall out of one of those fir trees.
No,
certainly not.
It fell out of the sky.
The sky, yeah. It came all the way from Chicago.
It did. But English or European swallow?
I don't know.
Or the Bahamas. I don't know.
It was a Chicago coconut. Bianca suggests she can't make Ethan come to her, so Bianca suggests they seek Nigel's help. Meanwhile, Supergirl is hand-feeding coconut to Ethan.
That's my fetish, you guys. Being fed coconut.
Yeah. Wow.
On the banks of a lake in Canada.
It's too cold for that shit, but this was possibly my favorite scene in any movie we've ever seen.
Bumper car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was feeding him. Oh. We might as well eat this coconut.
Right?
Right.
Because they didn't know it was coming.
Yeah, we have the coconut. We weren't having a picnic.
She could fly like a quarter mile and like laser beam some venison, and we would be eating very well.
Flew around the world for lunch with Lois.
Yeah, picked up flowers, picked up food, picked up cutlery.
Well, he was trying to get laid, you guys. They're just innocent. This is necking, heavy petting.
They've only got
going
first
to the big
base.
dance.
Okay, we brought
First
this up
base
about
is coconut
Jimmy
feeding.
Olsen. Ethan runs a business.
Ethan's at least in his late 20s.
He's a grown man also.
She's 15.
Yeah, he's an entrepreneur. He's not delivering the newspaper. He's a grown-ass man.
Yeah. No. This is not okay again. So Selena cuts a deal with Nigel. He uses magic to wake up Ethan, I think. Ethan isn't interested in Supergirl. He only wants to find Linda. He tries to leave, and Supergirl flies over his head. Ethan's impressed.
She tells him again that she is Superman's cousin.
Yes.
She's just telling everybody. Really,
she is name dropping.
Yeah. She got to get traction somehow, dude. This movie's not going to sell itself.
And he says, "So you can fly? Yes. Can you bend steel bars?" And she does a little gruff voice, like, "Yes."
That was adorable.
That was adorable. That was the best moment Helen Slater had in the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
hands down.
Besides the coconut thing.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You know, if she was given the direction, besides the coconut thing, if she was given the direction to be childlike and to be full of wonder and whimsy, then she pulled it off.
Oh no! I see. I don't.
But if she did it on her own, then
I just think she wasn't experienced enough at this point and wasn't receiving the direction she needed to put in a good performance.
Well, I'm sure if we were to pull up the script, you would see, like, you know, like Faye Dunaway, Selena and Bianca have lots of great dialogue.
Yeah,
I don't know that Kara really
does
much. In any, you know.
No.
She didn't have a lot of dynamic stuff to do.
Right.
Okay. So
like, how are you going to make her plain and then complain?
So Christopher Reeve didn't have great dialogue as Superman. He had some great stuff as Clark.
He's got his jokes, his
but
quips.
But he has just a presence.
Right.
And there's plenty of actresses of that generation that had a presence, but Helen Slater was not one of them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right. Faye Dunaway has a presence in this.
Oh, back to this line of her being like, yes, like with her like goofy stance and everything. That was a moment of her being like, "Oh, okay, I'm buying it now. I'm buying it."
Yeah,
it was brief, but
it was there. Well, and again, to talk about like the legend of Billie Jean, like she's great in that movie, and I think it came out a year later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whatever that boarding school is she's at.
Yeah.
Really helped.
Yeah. Back at the amusement park. Oh, here we go, Josh. Nigel and Selena are about to cast a spell with the Burundi wand.
Yeah, so Nigel just pulls it out of nowhere. Math teacher Nigel pulls it out of nowhere. Bianca's like, "What is that?" And he's like, "It's a Burundi wand. It's evil incarnate." Okay, so it's not incarnate; it's an object, but he
pure unadulterated evil.
Right? Yes. I looked it up for fun. You know, Burundi is a country, a region in Africa.
Malawi,
But so this is just some dude's blog post, "The Secrets of Black Magic from the Ancient Grimoires." And he even calls himself Nigel Lovecraft, and there's a picture down here. So obviously it's kind of jokey, but he runs down, you know, how you make your own, and involves, you know, the blood of a black hen and an albino heifer's bone, all this stuff. And then you make a paste, and then you stain this wood with this blood paste, and then you bury it in a graveyard of a person at the foot of a person's grave who's the opposite sex than you for 3 days and 3 nights, and you bring it whiskey every night. Because, you know, in ancient Burundi,
they enjoy
whiskey. Whiskey.
Fine spirits.
So we don't know if it's an Irish or Scottish whiskey. But yeah, and then
Canadian.
Or Canadian.
Okay, so I have a shovel.
Or a
I've got a couple of sticks.
So I got all the instructions.
Let's
if
get
we
a
want to
chicken.
make our own.
Should we make our own Burundi wand?
Let's
let's do it. You guys,
should that be
next week, super evil.
And it doesn't
harmless
say
phosphorescence.
It doesn't say how many Burundi wands you can make. So we could all have them.
Ooh, it's like a hack.
We only need one grave because we're all men.
But,
we just put it in.
Right.
But if you look at that serving size,
grave.
but if you look at that, a serving size is half a Burundi wand, so it's full of calories.
Did anybody look this up on Etsy? Can we just get
grave
can we just order one?
Yeah,
because I'm sure
Just a
like, it
Burundi
sounds
one.
easy enough. It's
But-
like $15 or
But
something.
this math teacher is just so matter of fact and has it with him even.
Well, he's also a warlock.
Yeah, he
knows
certainly is.
He knows his spells.
He has a day job.
But
as a math teacher.
Yeah.
Right. So he had this with him.
So okay, wait, so I mean, all right.
In his briefcase with all the tests he has to grade.
Well, he had to go get it from
He has
home.
evil
He was
incarnate.
back at home. He wasn't carrying it. Carrying it around with him all the time.
Yeah, like
it's in his
like Superman and
it's
that
in his
kryptonite.
it's in his wand safe.
Burn a hole in his pocket. It's so evil, kind of thing. Like, oh,
Yeah,
can't carry it around
incarnate
with
of
you.
all. Yeah,
So
it's a hell of a stick.
So they used the Burundi wand in tandem with the Omega Hedron.
And they just pointed at that
At the
screen
camera.
they're watching.
They pointed at the camera first.
Yeah, that's right.
At the like Supergirl tries to convince Ethan not to seek Linda, and they banter and then kiss. At which point Ethan realizes she's Linda.
Not so dumb.
Good for him, because otherwise, man, that was a real risk. He's like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
right.
kiss this other girl, but I'm in love with Linda. Like, man, the guilt would have killed him if it hadn't been the same
Right?
chick.
Because he's
that's
such a stand-up dude. Ethan promptly disappears.
Except when he's in that front loader.
Right. Ethan promptly disappears, reappearing in Selena's bed in chains. Supergirl flies away to find him. So Selena kisses Nigel as a ruse, then double crosses him, stealing his wand. She casts a spell and creates a mountain lair out of thin air.
She does something to him, casts some spell on him, and I'm not sure what the spell was, but it looked like he was just covered in soot or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe he had had a cartoon bomb explode in his hands.
Right, that
'cause
sort of effect.
that kind of thing. His hair was all askew.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it looked like he was wearing lipstick too. I don't know. It was weird. It's a weird spell.
Yeah, either Peter Cook was getting divorced or just bought a house or
Yeah, he needed some quick cash.
Yeah.
Supergirl arrives back in town and flies to the castle on the top of the mountain to find Ethan and confront Selena, who she finds Ethan chained up and is promptly captured in an invisible prison. Selena appears, kisses Ethan, and tells her to enjoy her prison forever and ever. Supergirl has become trapped in the Phantom Zone, and the record cover flies into space and then shatters, leaving Supergirl in a bleak, oily hellscape.
So there is some continuity here.
There's the album cover, yes.
Yeah.
But like a rock can break it in this world where it's an H-bomb.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
For Zod.
Yeah.
So it's a lady prison.
Oh, right. Yes, they are. Right. Weaker.
So the oily landscape that she finds herself in, that is the Phantom Zone?
That's what I
right?
It seems, yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. The album cover grabs you and then takes you to
the
the Phantom Zone, and
but then they were flying
then
around
explodes.
in the album cover till the album cover exploded. In
Right.
Superman
So, you know,
2.
then those two things would still match up.
Right.
Like, here's what it looks
I don't know.
like, but I still would have believed it was in the album cover. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Peter O'Toole's in there.
Yeah.
It's this infinite world, but it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it breaks in this.
Yeah.
But it's still there, good to go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe
artistic choice. I
maybe
don't
it
know.
doesn't
Maybe.
actually break. Maybe that's just like from her point of view, like she's broken.
Oh, that's
So there
I
isn't
see. When you're
continuity here.
That's
what we're saying.
Possibly not.
So you're not banging up against the pane of glass for
Mm-hmm.
all eternity?
Yeah, because prior to Supergirl,
See,
that's what I assumed.
Yeah, that's what I thought
In
too. yeah.
Superman 2, that was a Doobie Brothers record.
Right,
This is
totally
Pink Floyd
was.
The Wall.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
different.
there you go.
They
Different,
function under different
genre.
physical rules.
But Peter O'Toole, Zoltar's there.
Yeah, Kara
So-
Kara
Because he senses himself to the Phantom Zone, so it must be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he just wanted to be alone to drink.
Yeah. They even wrote it in, right?
Yeah,
Isn't he
squirt?
Yeah, that's right. Have a squirt. Yeah.
Kara discovers she's lost her powers. Wandering the landscape, she falls into a mud pit and passes out, where she is discovered by Zoltar.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't it like green mud too? It was like goopy Kryptonian looking mud. Like it looked like Krypton, like kryptonite almost.
There's some sliminess to it.
Yeah.
It looks kind of cool though. At first I thought it was a sunless planet, but then I watched it again, and the sky actually looks solid.
Okay.
It's surprisingly
that would make sense. Yeah.
It's surprisingly well lit. Also, for having no sky.
Well, why would she expect to have her? Well, I guess it's not that confusing, but she didn't have powers in Argo City.
No.
Why would she expect to have them anywhere else?
She
wasn't really sure where she was.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why.
She's just like, oh, my powers.
Yeah.
She cuts herself on a rock.
Yeah.
Like an idiot.
Back on Earth, Selena has declared herself queen. Meanwhile, in town, there's a peaceful protest being led by Lucy Lane
against Selena. So how long? Like, had she already started enacting like municipal laws and stuff?
Well,
why were they?
She's got the black helmet, Secret Service.
Yes. Yeah. This stormtrooper looking.
Where is the National Guard? The actual American,
the ones that came to New Houston, Idaho. Yeah, where are they?
She was more effective than the Zod Squad. She didn't even have to go to the White House. She's just like, screw it.
Right,
ruling from a suburb of Chicago and a mountain now.
And those kids were ready to go with those placards. Like, we're down with Selena.
Hey,
how do you mean down with her?
You down with OPP?
What are they just like? They're gonna rock the vote.
Yeah,
because there's nothing that mad witch dictators respond to more than teenagers peacefully protesting with placards.
Right. What are they protesting? Well, that lady put a mountain there out of nowhere. Oh, I hope this protest really turns something out.
She's got these badass guys all in black who beat us up.
Right.
Somehow she's taken over the town.
Yeah.
There was no hashtags then, so you had to literally have a protest.
She orders her motorcycle gang to seize them, and she takes Lucy and Jimmy Olsen prisoner. Meanwhile, back in the Phantom Zone, Zoltar, who has, of course, exiled himself there as a punishment to himself for losing the Omega.
He was waiting for an excuse.
I never should have been my own lawyer.
That's true.
And he is, I assume, Argo City's greatest and only scientist.
Yeah.
I assume so.
I don't know if he's a scientist or an artist or an architect, but he built...
Renaissance.
He's a Renaissance man,
They mentioned that he built this city.
On rock and roll.
Yeah. On synthesized green squirt.
We need 400 cubic tons of rock and roll. This is a load-bearing
I like the biblical measurements.
Thank you.
So he finds Kara unconscious. He pulls her from the mud pit, and after she awakes, she finds him drunk. Squirt. In her lair, Selena has Nigel, Jimmy, and Lucy in cages. She says they're insurance.
Oh, terrific. The old dangling in a cage routine. Pathetic, Selena.
Just Nigel unimpressed.
Right. Yeah, and then somebody's like, he's my math teacher, I think.
Right?
Right.
I love that he's like a witch critic. He's like, I'm not very good at magic, but you suck.
He's the Gene Siskel of warlocks.
Back in the Phantom Zone, Zoltar says there's no way out of the Phantom Zone. Kara refuses to believe him, and he finally admits, oh, sure, there's one way, but it's too dangerous. Kara convinces him, and they set off to escape.
It's like up a rock wall.
Yeah, along a cliff.
Yeah. He says at this point, he says, like, he's trying to not go do this thing. He's like, are you sure you won't have a squirt?
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out if this was product placement or if they were like ripping on squirt. Because the actual line was, you sure you won't have a squirt? Once you get used to it, I think it's delicious.
Yeah.
No,
hey,
I don't think this
squirt
had
is
anything to do with the
delicious.
product.
Little
Squirt.
tequila, bam. It's perfect.
Squirt takes no getting used to.
Right.
No,
Grapefruit soda.
It's grapefruit
But
deliciousness.
Zoltar drank a lot of things there before he hit on the ones that were.
Before he found the squirt.
It's like, I'm going to figure out a way to get hammered on this rock if it
one
kills
way or
me.
another. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. In her lair, Selena is plotting her world domination plan when the box goes crazy.
Doesn't her plan involve real estate as well?
Right.
No, I'm not kidding. I think it did.
Superman is really all about real estate.
Yeah. What kind of villain isn't interested in real estate? Oh, maybe that was my comment on Selena. Yeah.
Is that what she said?
No. That was what I said about her. Yeah.
The box opens. The omegahedron opens a window, and she sees into the Phantom Zone, where Kara and Zoltar are making their way across a treacherous cliff at the edge of the maelstrom.
So towards the butthole.
So did the omegahedron create the rift that they have to go through?
That's what
in the mirror.
That's what it appeared like to me. Yeah.
That's
some
right,
sort of maelstrom in the background.
Yes.
And, Peter O'Toole, Zoltar. I'm sorry, Zoltar says they have to go past. They have to go through the quantum vortex.
They have to turn
rift.
Josh Baskin back into a kid. Zoltar was the machine and big.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Selena tries to figure out how to kill them. She finds an answer in a book. She took a look. It's in a book.
Where did she get those books?
Where does she get those wonderful books? She sends fireballs into
the saline fireballs.
The saline
fireballs.
I paid a lot, not the generic.
Yeah, they're they help you with your contacts. Into the Phantom Zone, and Kara and Zoltar are nearly knocked off the cliff. But they're not. They start making their way into the hole that the omegahedron has opened.
So Selena sends the demon storm.
Yes. At which point Zoltar...
Is this the same demon storm?
That was a storm dragon.
A storm dragon.
I don't know that they're
not the
different.
Shadow Force either.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's hard to keep. I didn't bring my
a lot of power.
My grimoire.
She has a lot. She has a lot of large invisible things that attack people.
She just has a lot of power.
I just imagine she's just got like a dungeon master's guy that she's just flipping through. Like, that sounds terrifying. Let's do that.
She's 100% more powerful than any villain that Superman has faced.
Oh my god!
Cinematically,
No, she
maybe 4 we'll see, but
she created a mountain.
Right.
No,
first there is a mountain.
Superman would have trouble. Yeah. At which point Zoltar, for some reason, sacrifices himself to the whirlwind because it was narratively necessary, I assume.
Honestly, I keep thinking of how cool it would have been for the two of them to pop out of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
The sky butthole?
The sky butthole, the devil's anus, you know?
But only way out of the shadow zone.
For them to whoop the shit out of these people as Supergirl and Super Uncle?
Super drunk uncle.
Super retired teacher. Her teacher.
Yeah.
So Nigel's a teacher.
And,
it was it would have been a cool opportunity to see a little bit of spandex on Peter O'Toole. Maybe that
would have been wild.
That's your fetish.
You know, the guy's like 6'4". I mean, don't judge me.
He was always a handsome man his entire life.
Yeah.
Ever since he was a young O'Toole.
So
some either don't start out handsome or don't end up handsome, but you know.
The omegahedron box has been growing this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now I noticed that the box had boobs and 4 legs.
Whoa.
Like a sphinx.
Okay.
Yeah, it's starting to look like the gargoyles from Ghostbusters a little bit.
Yeah.
There is only Zool.
Supergirl. And Zoltar.
I'll form the legs. Supergirl's powers return, and she bursts forth from the Phantom Zone. She tells Selena the game is over, but Selena threatens to drop her friends on red-hot spikes. Supergirl destroys the spikes, and her friends are freed.
With her freeze breath. She
freezes them.
That's how you use your fucking powers.
Right.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Superman. Learn a thing from your little cousin here.
Yeah.
Right. She demands the omegahedron, and Selena unleashes her magic at Supergirl, turning the floor into squares that float on lava.
The floor's quaking. Yeah, the squares. It's like, now she should probably fly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember when you were kids, but a lot of the floor was lava.
There was
a common thing
back then in the 80s.
It was the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
There was a lot of lava floors.
It was everywhere.
We fought for
only
the
couches,
future generations to
be
able to walk on the carpet. You know?
That's right.
That was
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Many of my friends were lost to lava accidents.
Yeah,
in
that
living
was
rooms and
that was our
hallways,
revolution.
Oh God, yeah.
Kitchens,
bedrooms,
backyards.
Yes.
Treacherous world.
It was.
Supergirl dodges the statue and tells Selena she has no friends.
Oh, it's a statue of Satan.
Huh.
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hey, I forgot because I don't think I have it in here. I shout out to Ethan's badass velour suit.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
I thought you were going to say shout out to Satan.
Shout out to Satan.
We hadn't mentioned him earlier, but I wanted to.
In one shot it looked purple, and another shot it looked maroon. So
Ooh, so that's nice. Velvet can do
yeah.
that. You know.
Yeah,
depending on the light. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an awesome suit.
Yeah, that was a great suit.
There are a lot of cool suits in this movie.
There were great costumers and there were great set directors in this movie.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be in a carnival. That didn't serve anything, but
even
visually it was a lot of fun.
Too.
Even the prop people, they made that Burundi wand,
and
they had to find the
wacky stick.
Graveyard. Yeah,
the whole thing looked great. It looked great.
All right, I'll shut
even
up.
the saran wrap that opened up and got sealed back up. That was great. Yeah.
All right.
So, Supergirl tells Selena she has no friends because Bianca tried to bail.
That's right. Yeah.
And Selena pins her to the wall with her magics.
Yeah.
Bianca was the quintessential hanger-on. She was not really like her.
Yeah.
She wasn't really a henchman.
Yeah.
They were kind of friends,
a contemporary,
roommates.
A peer.
She's like, I remember when you did nails in Houston.
Right. They bend together.
They bend together. Palms and leaves in Tahoe.
Yeah.
They did a few tours.
We used to work at the IHOP.
Well, and is this our first Bechdel test? Passing of the Bechdel test.
Oh, interesting. Yes.
Because there's nothing but, qualifiers for that. Because Bianca and Selena are talking constantly and not about the male characters.
No, not
That's
at all.
a lot less. So, yeah, I think it might be the first one.
Remind me again what a Bechdel test is. I recognize the term. I feel like an idiot for not knowing.
She's a cartoonist, and she came up with this this test, basically. Does the movie pass her test as far as integrity for a female character? And the criteria is that there are two female characters and they have at least one scene separate from any of the male characters and aren't talking about the male characters.
They're not just interested in,
because then if you start to pay attention, especially now more than then, I think, but you'll see so many movies, almost any comedy, certainly. Where the chicks, if they are, where the chicks, where the women, where the broads are talking, like they do. But anyways, so I think this is the first time we had the
first, definitely.
Lois never had any of those moments.
She never had a conversation with any female, ever. The only time we saw Lois speak with a female was in Superman 3. When she
when Lana shows her the ring.
Exactly.
So cattiness, not even.
Superman 2 after she loses her memory.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's asking what happened.
Right. She's talking to
Well, and then ironically, the next movie on our list also passes the Bechdel test. And, I'll point out the scenes, but
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Yeah, we'll get to that. So Selena summons a monster, a giant monster. Is that the Shadow Monster again?
Yes. Power of Shadow appear, power of Shadow destroy her.
Which starts stretching Supergirl in not a great effect. Under Selena's direction, she's doing a voodoo thing.
Yeah, the monster's sort of mimicking her movements, like she's the puppeteer or something. But how else are you going to stretch a person on the screen?
Whoever did
the effect wasn't great,
special effects didn't realize that doing that to an image just destroys any of its realism. Just all the graininess of it. It was bad. It was really bad.
It didn't look great. But at which point Supergirl hears Zoltar's voice urging her to use the Force. Yeah. And she escapes.
Squad. She's like, oh yeah, that's right. It's my other superpower. Sorry. Not for children.
She flies really fast around Selena.
Oh, she gets really tiny.
That's right. She shrinks.
She shrinks and then flies a little cyclone around around Selena.
So apparently shrinking.
I must have looked away.
Ethan closed the Omegahedron box to cut off the power or something.
Right.
To cut
off the magic
so
power.
That's why you were asking about lead. Yeah.
Nigel gives some advice from the background. He just says, he says, confront her with it. It's the only way.
Yeah. He double crosses Selena at that point to help Supergirl.
And then Supergirl gets tiny and flies a light tornado
around
Selena.
And Selena, Bianca, and the monster get sucked into the mirror in the Phantom Zone.
Oof.
And the mirror fixes itself.
Yes, the mirror fixes itself. Then Ethan and his...
Which is the name of that album. The mirror fixes itself. I was doing an air guitar. That's why you went doodle-doodle.
Yeah, I was doing... Yeah.
The sound.
Layla. Ethan and his...
Yeah.
Very specific air guitar part here.
Yeah,
folks.
exactly.
Ethan is in his dope velour suit.
Don't get up. I'm not done yet.
The Omega Heater.
We got to get the bridge at the end of Layla. We're getting there.
Boom, boom. All right, sorry.
Ethan hands her the Omega Hedron. Supergirl makes excuses for Linda and says goodbye to Ethan and flies away.
Oh, she says, I have to go and I must ask you something. I think it was Lucy said, "It's all right, Supergirl. We never saw you." And then I think it was Jimmy said, "We never even heard of you."
Don't have to be a dick, Jimmy.
Yeah, no. Jimmy is legitimately confused.
Yeah, he is an a-hole.
Supergirl.
Yeah, something in the water in Metropolis.
So she flies away with the Omega Hedron to return to Argo City and dives into the lake.
Lucy and Jimmy kiss at this point.
Oh yes,
and that's when Chris Hansen shows up and arrests him. It's like, just have a seat right
He's
here.
Got some Mike's Hard Lemonade with him.
Right,
and the mountain castle disappears, and they just end up
out
on
back
the street.
in town.
Everything's normal.
Wow, that was some kiss.
That's right. Jimmy.
Yeah, they looked similar. His girlfriend, Jimmy, and the girl that Lois's sister.
Yeah,
they had the same haircut. Just that curly.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
Just when they,
yeah.
So Supergirl returns the Omega Hedron to Argo City, which lights up
through the lake.
Right,
through the lake. She dives
back through the lake.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the first time I watched it, I think I looked away when she dived into the lake and thought she was flying into space.
Okay,
right.
Because why is it at the bottom of a lake?
Yeah, I didn't. I wrote that note down too. Like, it's at the bottom of the ocean or bottom of the lake?
Because it's inner space.
That's the pathway between
the binary chute.
It is because
that's where the binary.
The binary chute. That's what Pharaoh 2 falls.
No, what'd you call it? The bino chute.
The bino chute.
It's the bino chute.
Well, but what's nice is now in 2019 there are so many different chutes.
There's at least
not the binary.
There's at least 7 chutes.
Right.
So Argo City lights up and credits roll.
And Argo City saved.
Argo City is saved.
And
okay.
The credits were awesome. That's
the descending credits.
That's all we got out of. Yeah,
and so obviously there are a lot of storytelling reasons why. So that's not what I'm saying. But she accomplishes her mission, which was the single reason she went to Earth in the first place.
Yes.
So like, why fake enrollment in a boarding school? Why go to the field hockey games? Why, but because then it's like, okay, her alter ego. But then she takes off and goes back home to Argo City. Ostensibly, that student has been murdered or disappeared.
Well,
what was her name?
Linda Lee.
Linda Lee.
Well,
yeah.
no. So I guess I was assuming
she will just be gone from school.
I guess I was assuming she would leave the Omega Hedron and then, because now she apparently doesn't need the binary chute to travel to Argo City because she just flew there.
Right.
Okay.
She didn't go back in the transporter.
Yeah. So
that was wild.
So I guess I was under the assumption she was going to give them the Omega Hedron and then be like, I live on Earth now, and go back.
Okay.
It's like, you treat me like a baby. I'm not a baby. Ethan kisses me on the mouth hole. It took a love potion, but somebody finally appreciates me for a woman that I'm not yet because I'm still a child.
All right, I see. So she was going to come back.
That was my assumption.
As soon as spring break is over.
So her wild oats. This was her rumspringa.
Rumspringa. Yeah,
she's
exactly.
Like, I'm not coming back to the farm.
It was my assumption she was going back to Earth, but I guess we don't know.
No, but of course, that's more logical than me. Yeah, she went on to have a rich history in the comics. Yeah, my dumbass, she goes back to Argo City because she's missing classes there too.
Right? Yeah, she's like, I have to learn how to finger paint again.
Yeah, exactly.
We paid Mia Farrow a lot of money.
To freak the fuck out. Like, did they not have Valium in Argo City?
Well, did she have any lines at the end? I don't remember.
No, we
man.
didn't see inside Argo City.
She was one and done.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. I was like, I don't remember seeing her.
Mia
at the
Farrow
end.
was on set one day.
Yeah.
Because the end of this movie is a mess.
Like, Mia, we need you to freak the fuck out.
If you listen to this whole podcast, definitely watch this whole movie.
Oh my God.
Because it is a mess.
Well, so what this movie, especially on the second watch for me, reminded me of was like 70s live action Disney movies.
Yeah, it had that vibe.
Yeah.
But
Escape from Witch Mountain.
I don't know.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
I'm just so surprised it did that poorly. You know, like it is.
You watched the whole movie, right? You didn't fall asleep? Yeah, it was really bad. I mean,
but like, okay, but look, like
there's not a lot of the redeeming features or the credits.
Well, then I think just purely that there is a Supergirl. You know, like it is very female forward. The movie itself. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
I guess that was so off-putting then.
Well, okay, no. So I mean, no, it's a bad movie.
Yeah,
it is a bad movie.
I mean,
right, but in 1980, I don't know.
Maybe if
1984,
if it had connected with women better, maybe it would have been a better.
That's what I mean. Like,
movie.
so there was no audience for it.
Part of the problem I see isn't so much with that is that it's not so much that it's female forward, but it's that we can't have her fighting men.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that she didn't do enough. Gene Siskel kind of said that she didn't do enough. Yeah, maybe that's it.
I mean, Faye Dunaway could have been in a robotic suit or something, or like they could have had some fighting something. You know, I don't say they had to physically fight. But
like I was saying, that day and age, like you had it was word of mouth. There wasn't social media to say this movie was lame. So like. So few people saw it, but those so few people went and told everybody else not to see it.
Yeah,
it's like 1984. It's got it's got the super credibility. It's a science fiction movie. You know.
Well, yeah.
I mean, how didn't it accidentally?
Well,
how did it not accidentally make half of its money back?
Siskel and Ebert told everybody not to see it.
I guess they did.
I mean, yeah, that was
those
probably
thumb having.
That was probably a big chunk. That honestly probably was worth $10 million.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's what I mean, because it was all word of mouth, either from them or people you knew. Yeah.
Well, and it sounds like they marketed the hell out of this movie.
I mean,
there's all kinds of ad placements.
Yeah, the placements.
I think people were expecting another. So Superman. All three Supermans, for all their faults, there was something for adults and children alike. This, I feel, was really 80% for the kids.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
And it felt like it was like aimed at teenage girls.
Well,
like, we're gonna make a teenage girl superhero.
Right. That's
movie.
why I'm curious. Yeah. It didn't do. Like that wouldn't mean you'd make a bunch of money, but it did so poorly.
Well, and even
girls like.
Well, and some of the choices are weird. Why is she so infantilized? Like that's if she was a teen.
Yeah.
If she acted like a teen, that would be great. She'd still be younger.
Yeah.
But she acts like literally a toddler at certain points.
It's funny. So the Salkinds did make this, and they were really into it. It's weird. It's interesting to see that they asked David Lester because, I think they were always going for a serious thing. We've mentioned Lawrence of Arabia several times on this, and then we brought up that quote from Richard Lester where he, accused Donner of being very much like David Lean, and this epic, sweeping kind of deal. And then the Salkinds go over here and make a movie with the star of David Lean's biggest movie ever, and all these British actors and things like that, and so it makes you wonder: were they feeling like the Superman franchise was getting too goofy and funny? But I guess this movie doesn't say that necessarily. But
I mean, because there's plenty of goofiness in this movie.
Yeah,
I'm not sure it's all intentional.
If they had cut one
French
way
director.
or another more. In the goofy or the more serious direction, I think it would have made a big difference.
That's a good point.
Having it be more mythology and less campy cattiness between witches.
That's a good point.
I think it being a random witch, despite how much I enjoyed Faye Dunaway personally, I think it being a random witch rather than some sort of super a
DC villain, a rogues gallery villain, but
really, really hurt it.
Or have some single line that says, "I've managed to hold out until Superman finally left."
Right, something like
now I'm going to take over the world.
Right, put herself in that universe.
It was all just completely random happenstance that the megahedron falls into their fondue.
But it's just you're right. That's lame.
Yeah, it's so much coincidence in this movie.
But it's just funny because that is the most powerful villain so far. Well, okay, maybe Zod, but no, she's more powerful than Zod. Because he could do things with the same powers he has as Kal-El on this planet. She made a mountain with a castle on it. Yeah. Like, just bam.
She could have made a mountain around Supergirl.
Well, and that's
even
part
Webster could control the weather.
Well, that's part of the problem.
Webster Ross.
Teleportation. You know,
that's part of the problem with magic that is not defined.
Right.
Is like you can just do anything.
Yep.
Right. I can control people, but I can't make him love me. I can move time and space, but I need this front loader to bring this dude.
Wait. I'm not fighting the wind. Right. It's actually a wind dragon demon thing.
Yeah. All right. I've given it too much thought, I can see. Yeah. But I mean, it isn't great. But
there were some simple ways to improve this movie that just, got overlooked, I think.
I did appreciate that they explored Kryptonians' weakness to magic.
Yeah,
because that is something that's throughout the comics.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
But again,
that's why he's virtually powerless against Mxyzptlk.
But for magic to work, you have to have well-defined rules.
Mxyzptlk.
Kind of like you were saying, there has to be some sort of expectation of result with magic and what is actually going to hurt or not hurt.
No, that's true. Yeah, we like to know Superman's weaknesses.
Yeah, no, we
clearly
do.
Defined.
And I mean that there's any number of like there was any number of actual like magic using Superman DC users that they could have put in here.
She could have materialized kryptonite out of thin air and been like, what's this woman's weakness? Oh, she's a Kryptonian. Oh, kryptonite. Make kryptonite. Boom, kryptonite.
Yeah, you're
Bam.
right. Yeah,
that would have made a way better ending sequence than another wind demon.
We found out the Sulkines did have the rights to all those aspects of Superman. You're right. They could have just in
just Martian Man,
just in dialogue, they explained away Superman in dialogue. Yeah, they should have done that more. Put themselves in the DC universe.
They've done, not to keep talking about CW's Supergirl. It is a really good show.
Yeah,
but the aspect of Supergirl that they do really well is when she shows up on Earth, she's actually much younger, so she has an opportunity to grow on Earth as well. By the time she presents herself as Supergirl, she's much more savvy. She has a job, and she's more worldly.
Yeah. Okay. So all we have left to do here is rank this.
All right.
So
do you have the ranking?
I have the rankings. I have them in front of me here. We have 8 so far. This is our 9th film to be ranked. Do we want to start at the top or start at the bottom?
Bottom.
Okay. Number 8 is Condor Man.
Yep, stay in there.
I think this is better than Condor.
It's better than Condor Man.
Yeah,
it's got Peter O'Toole in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Faye Dunaway. Yeah.
Number 7 is Hero at Large. I think it's better than Hero.
I think it's better than Hero at Large.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number 6 is Superman and the Mole Men.
Yes.
Again, let's leave it there.
Yeah.
It's better.
8 minutes of running through the back.
I loved watching her fly around.
Yeah, that was good.
I said it before. All the flying. I don't know.
All of our grand old, golden age of Hollywood actors were amazing in it.
We had so little flying in Mole Men.
Yeah, so little.
Just jumps in it. Yeah,
just lost that sound.
Right. So number 5 is Superman 3.
Richard Pryor or Peter O'Toole.
Yeah,
okay.
So I don't. Okay, yeah.
I think this is better than Superman 3. I think that. I don't know. I mean, yes, Gus on his own is fantastic. So if we're judging a Richard Pryor movie, but this felt more comic booky superhero-y.
It did. I think.
Superman's the B plot in Superman 3.
Yeah.
He doesn't do shit.
Visual sequences and stuff are stronger in this too, in a lot of
ways. They were.
I like that this is a new character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I think there were better performances. Robert Vaughn was okay, but nobody gave him any notes.
Yeah.
Ross Webster was pretty boring.
This was a risk too. I think they could have taken a more calculated risk to make the movie better, or possibly even worse.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
But yeah, I'd be willing to give this more than Superman 3. This is better than Superman 3 in that sense, because that was very formulaic. It was a Richard Pryor movie with Christopher.
I think this is
appearing every now and then.
Yeah, I think this is probably a better written film than Superman 3 in a lot of ways.
Now that's interesting. I don't know about
that.
Stealing all the pennies is a good plot.
Look, this is better, not because of the words or the actions. That's where we're getting.
Well,
I want to hear all the rankings before I decide. Okay, so Superman 3.
Then Superman 2.
Okay.
Then Swamp Thing. Then Batman 66.
Yeah.
Then Superman 78. Superman's at number 1. I cannot, in good conscience, say this is better than Superman 2.
No way.
No, it's not. No, Superman 2 is awesome.
As bad as that movie was, it was great.
Right.
I'm pretty torn on it being, I don't know, it's either above or below Superman 3 as far as I'm concerned. And I would personally probably put it below.
I wouldn't change.
I would personally put it below Superman 3.
I don't think I'm going to watch this again, whereas I might watch Superman 3 again.
All right, let's say, sure. Just for the...
or not for Pierrot O'Toole, for...
in the interest of the rest of our lives. We'll just go ahead.
All right, so we're putting Supergirl in at number 6, right below Superman 3.
All right, if you agree or disagree, let us know.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know.
We're happy to change our phony bullshit standings at any time.
Seriously.
No, this is set in stone. Right. It's official.
It's irreversible.
I can't.
But I'm a Kryptonian.
It's my back tattoo now, so I can't change it.
No regrets.
The ranking. Okay.
All right. So, well,
next to your children's names in Old English.
Next week, join us when we visit or revisit The Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
1984. That's going to be an interesting one.
This is our first violent superhero movie.
Yeah, our first R-rated.
Yeah.
First R-rated.
If you haven't seen it before, please do see it. Viewer discretion advised, but please do see it. So you have context for.
Don't watch it with your
children. You're going to need context. Yeah, no.
Don't watch
it. Not really anyone else in the house.
Or your spouse.
Definitely not.
In fact, you'd be best to watch it in a mirror while listening to a record.
Yeah.
Take still photos of each shot and then flip through the photos quickly.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. That's next week. For now, I am... noted child predator Jimmy Olsen. No, I'm one of your hosts, the Rose Smiley. I'm joined with.
My name is Josh, and I got here in a front loader.
My name's Brian, and I'm going to go drink my lifetime supply of Squirt.
I'm Alaric Weber. Zip, zap, and I'm gone.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. Hey, everybody. I just wanted to give a big shout out to all of our Patreon producers: Alyssa Dent, Hedda Paulson, Katie and Finn Thorpe, Kirsten Reed, Michael Beckworth, and Jojo Birchtree. You too can be a Harmless Phosphorescence producer. Just go to patreon.com/harmlessphosphorescence and pledge $10 or more. Harmless Phosphorescence is a production of the Harmless Entertainment Network. Visit us at patreon.com/harmlessentertainment for early and ad-free new episodes, bonus episodes, and so much more. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, or Facebook to get the latest news, participate in polls, or just let us know what you think about the movies we're watching. You can also send us an email at harmlessentertainment@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and be sure to tune in next week.